Yeah, all right. Quality memes.
Hey-yo, hey-yo. You had some dank memes up there?
Quality meme.
Some dankest of memes?
That's our opener.
Dank of memes?
That's our warm-up. Our warm-up is
basically.
Our warm-up.
You basically
is
just
the
hit us
memes.
with Imager.
Look, way to pull back the fourth. Way to just pull back
I'm
the
just
curtain.
saying. I know you're Imagerian, whatever they call yourself when you browse Imager a whole bunch. We have an early show today, Clowntown. Can you believe it?
We do. It's pretty good. We are
Pretty nice.
we are live on time, on point, coming to you free of charge from Worldwide in Wales. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 87th. Sorry, 78th. Did I say it? I was looking right there.
We jumped a little bit there.
78th live edition, a long time coming. I anticipated, never duplicated, often supplicated, unappreciated, unvalued program. The program features nickel talent, pin compensated talents of William.
You're going to get this right eventually, Clowntown. I don't know when, but at some point you might get this.
Stable full of mediator, moderators, third round draft pick, be named later.
You made this for yourself.
3 people, 2 attempts, 1 dream.
And you still can't do it.
Broadcasting's finest train wreck. I put you as a Codedon media presentation associated with YouTube, iTunes, and all the other tunes available from every coast to every coast. And now, looking sharp, he is the dashing Panthers of new YouTube. Catholic Hat, DD Video Specialist Extraordinaire, several-time world record holder. He puts the unity back into our community. He's Mr. Spicy Ketchup. He's got some time behind the wheel. Mr. William Bishop, what's up, man?
Hey guys, what's going on? How you doing? Kurt, it's good to see you. C Pancake, how you doing?
What's up,
also
man?
known as Print Track.
Print Track.
No one ever calls C Pancake. C Pancake, why did you change your name? I don't understand. What was the
it's-
rationale? You were Print Track and it was fine.
Print Track
It
seems
wasn't like
good.
you had it was an okay name.
Seems good.
Why did you change your name? I don't understand. Why did I change my name? I mean, I had a business reason to change my name, but Clowntown.
Right.
When are you going to change your name to Clowntown without O's? Can you even do that now? Because you're
yeah,
an affiliate.
as soon as it's available.
You can still do it.
I think. I mean, there's partners that change their name.
How do you feel about your Clout emote?
Yeah, so not something I could get out of.
Not super happy about Clout?
They gave me the CL0WNT, and they said, add whatever you want after it.
What did it? What did you TVG salute? I just typed TVG better.
TVG.
They ruined you. I feel like Clout.
Yeah, kind of.
Not Clout. Oh man, I actually need to sub your channel when I get a chance. Well, +1 subscriber. Clout.
Yeah.
Not Clown. Clout.
T-O. They take the
the
first
O is
6.
pretty bad. In fact,
and it's JSO-M-E, JSOmetric.
Yeah,
JSOM.
Just JSOMO, Patrick, JSMO, and then whatever he has actually, JSOMO chair. That sucks. You guys get shafted. Good, you deserve it, you dirty affiliates.
I know. It's like
dirty, nasty affiliates.
The unwashed masses wanting to break down the castle walls.
Nope, they're not allowed.
So, there you go.
The glass ceiling. It's not gonna happen. Okay.
Yeah.
So what have you been streaming recently? I've seen you doing Factorio, but also Fortnite.
Fortnite is kind of our secondary. You always need a secondary.
Okay. You always need a secondary.
You know.
I just go from primary to primary. I don't do secondary.
I know you've been grinding. Mine is Factorio has been a lot of fun. I'm getting much better at it. I've also attracted subs from some of the most more prominent Factorio subscribers and the more prominent Factorio YouTubers.
I have noticed that you have a lot of interaction with the other streamers in the Factorio community.
Yeah, it's been really good. Those guys like Colonel Will is a bad mother trucker.
Colonel Will's a big one.
Anti-Elite.
I see him host you all the time.
Who's a speedrunner.
Anti-Elites also, I see him in there.
And there's another guy in there. Mojo is Colonel Will's buddy. Also, Exterminator 5, and it starts with an X. Terminator.
Oh, I see.
And Exterminator taught me how to do, I think, how to do nuclear power.
Okay.
I watched his. It would be like, probably not on the scale that Terraria would be, but if you watched Yarmir and Hero and those guys learn some stuff when you were early on in Terraria.
Yeah.
And then now they were coming back and saying, hey, this guy's and subbing you.
Yeah.
And
you have that same feeling
and,
of being recognized in the community. That's cool, yeah.
It's pretty cool. And the thing
That's where it's at.
They host, but then sometimes they also hang around and hang out with us. And
Because Factorio is one of those games where you can backseat really, really hard, right?
So
Like,
easy.
oh, no, I don't do it like that.
so easy.
I do it like this. I turn that tunnel around and
right.
do this thing.
What's crazy is I'll be running from left to right, and they'll go, you missed an inserter on assembler number 14 on the top row. Like I would
thanks.
not have caught that had I would have had to go back and start messing around with it and go, oh, okay, why isn't this one running? Or whatever. But
you'd have to wait till there's a problem to notice that was an issue.
Right. Or what'll happen is we'll run out of them, and then I'll go, okay, why is this not running? And I'll be running by, and I mean, not even just stopping and looking at it with them. I'll be running by, and they'll go, hey,
and they're looking at it,
and one's off.
Hey, you fix that. Hey,
fix
that.
Thank you.
Hey, yeah.
It's
always nice. I love backseat gaming like that.
It's like, look, I put down one inserter that was just frankly missing, and I improved my output 10% because there was 10 assemblers and one of them wasn't working. Click. There you
Sweet. Go. I feel like a lot of people would not be okay with that kind of input, though.
No,
I think some people don't like that.
Please,
like, no, let me play my game.
And every other Factorio,
no backseating.
And all the other Factorio folks I know love the questions. Like, hey, or
I think they have to in Factorio. Especially.
They have to, yeah. Or you'll say, hey, what's the rationale of doing 2 blue inserters instead of 1 green inserter? What,
right?
And they'll
totally
come back and
that.
they'll come back and explain it to you, right?
Right.
Because there is a difference, right? It's can I pick up more with one batch at a time? It runs slower, but it carries more per, But then these other ones are
the blue ones are the stack picker-uppers?
The green ones are the stack picker-uppers, but yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a difference in how much they can pick up at once, but they turn slower versus they pick up 3 at a time and turn fast all the time, right?
So how's the speedrunning part going about Factorio? Are you still?
I failed pretty hard the other day. I got closer, but I failed. And I haven't really picked it back up. Although I set everything else up in the background. Got all my splits.
Nice.
I got some blueprints, and I've done just about everything other than jumping in to go do it.
And actually do it. It is a long process. What is the goal time again?
So, the multiplayer records are 2.5 hours first place, 3.5 hours second place, and 4.5 hours third place.
So they're not too long.
No.
I mean, they're a little bit longer than a Terraria speedrun now.
Right. And
I'm doing a speedrun right now on XCOM that I'm at 11 hours in currently over 3 days. So
yeah,
I feel like you can do it, Clowntown.
Oh yeah, we can.
Get in there and speedrun.
One day, one thing that I want to start doing with my subscribers is on a Saturday or maybe a Sunday is a rocket per stream.
Right.
Is just
that's good setup for speedrunning.
Right.
To have all the function down.
And let's do this. And then if we can do that, we can get it consistent to where it's 5 or 6 hours, then we can say, okay, let's do this thing and let's hone this down and figure out what we need to do, right?
That's sort of where I'm trying to get with XCOM too. I'm wanting to do a tire playthrough once per session.
Right.
It's not really been getting there because like I said, it's going to take I wanted to take like 7 hours, 8 hours.
Right.
It's taking a lot longer than that. But I think I could definitely get it down to 8 hours. It's definitely possible. So that's exactly what I've been trying to do with XCOM. I think I can.
Persona speedrun, yeah. Yeah, it's good. Your XCOMs have been doing all right. To me though, it's like the reason I can't. Okay, here's the reason I can't play XCOM is because I'm not aiming.
Yeah, you missed. Oh man, I had a moment. Okay, so there is a negative modifier on one of my really important soldiers, and I set my guys up in an ambush formation, and he was supposed to just take a turn and watch. And he had a disorder that caused him to be over-aggressive, and then when I tell him to sometimes overwatch, he will shoot. And he did that. Right then and there, he shot at an enemy, killed the enemy, but then the enemy team got to attack us for a free round, basically, because it was a mistake. And we lost one of our newer soldiers because of that, and he got wounded. Man, I was livid.
Right.
That was, and it was 100% my fault because the game told me about that disorder. All I had to do was not tell him to Overwatch. I could have ended the turn with backspace, so I messed up. I killed this rookie, but I for probably 15 minutes, I could not accept to myself that I had done that, and it was that guy's fault.
Right.
For shooting.
Why would you Why would you do the thing? Why would you do the thing?
How could that Reaper do that and kill that rookie?
Right.
Like, the rookie was literally in ambush formation, standing out in the open, ready to shoot when these guys came forward, and that would have been fine because of how the turns work. I would have gotten a free turn, basically, but it turned into them having a free turn. Man, I was so angry. It's very hard to accept failure when one of your soldiers dies, but I think the game is fair. The more and more I've played it, obviously the first, like, 4 missions or so are really heavy luck. Depends on what happens, and bad things can happen. After that, you can be really consistent. So it's not as bad as I originally thought it was. There was a lot of things I was doing wrong before, and things I misunderstood previously.
Right.
And actually, I equate a lot of my learning to mods, because a lot of the mods I have give you more information about the game.
Right.
Like, this is the attack damage of a sectoid, minimum and max.
See, information, I don't necessarily... I have less of a problem with informational mods than I do performance mods, right?
Yeah, I don't think I have any like, I don't have, like, a gun that does 1 million damage.
Right.
Or so, or whatever. Oh, actually, I'll tell you what, in the game, I think I may have told you this before. If you type in Sid Meier as a name of a character, he becomes super OP. So I don't know about balance in XCOM.
Right.
Because then you could just do that. Because that's in the game. So
it's in the game.
Speed run applicable.
Right.
You can just do that, have the best tech and the best weapons in the game.
So how has Sid been doing in your speedruns?
I haven't used them yet. There's 2 different categories on speedrun.com, and one of them is with these characters, and one of them is without. I did break the other record by about 9 minutes.
Really?
The one without. So 7 hours and 40 minutes was the record. It's 7 hours and 31 minutes. I still have to upload that, but we did it. So technically hold that record for War of the Chosen.
Yeah,
but
good.
I really want to start doing it on Legend, because that was on Rookie. That was the easiest difficulty. Legend is... It's like playing chess, and the other guy gets 2 chessboards. 2 chessboards worth of pieces. He gets twice as... He's 2 queens, 2 kings,
right.
And you have to kill them all. That's what Legend is like.
Right.
Luckily, the computer is stupid.
What?
Makes bad decisions sometimes.
Well, see, so I've been trying to understand, okay, what would it take for me to get into XCOM?
I think you just have to sit down and hurt yourself a bunch.
Yeah, well...
That's what it would be, ow, 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 until you dull the pain. That's exactly what it would be.
That's right. So
that's what it is for me, too.
Yeah,
when a soldier dies, I still get upset. I'm sure my heart rate spikes every time a soldier dies.
Well, like, I think what would have to happen is the non-combat part of the game is awesome.
Yeah, that part is great. The reason you like that part so much, though, is because the other part is so nerve-wracking. I think if it was just the strategic overlay and not the tactical part, you get bored of the strategic overlay pretty quickly.
Well, if it was the strategic overlay plus combat like Fortnite.
Okay.
You know, where it was a little more...
That's not XCOM, though. It's just not XCOM.
Oh, I know.
You don't have every single shot almost is a coin... not a coin flip, is a roll on the dice, right?
Yes, it's a dice roll.
You could play perfectly and miss every single shot. And then the aliens can also play perfectly and miss every single shot.
Right.
And that's what... Oh, man, that's gambling right there. That's the core of the game. What actually makes the game insane good is that moment where this happened to me yesterday. 98% chance, I say, I'm telling the audience, is unfathomably high. I shoot and I miss. Literally happened to me yesterday. So there is no guaranteed shots. I've also taken 21% chance shots that I've hit and saved soldiers' lives. There's been crazy stuff that happens because of the numbers. Super important.
Right.
To have that RNG in there.
And I actually have a... let me see if I can find that quote from...
Oh, you have a quote?
I do have a quote exactly like that fits this scenario very well. Let's see if I can find it.
I also had a bug the other day with War of the Chosen where the Chosen spawned in a sectioned off box on the side of the map and couldn't get to us. And I had to complete the mission, I had to grenade through a wall and then kill the Chosen. It was terrible. It was the worst bug I've ever seen.
There it is.
It
says, it's possible to commit no errors and still lose. That's not a weakness. That's life.
Yep. Yeah, that's a great quote. What is that from?
Jean-Luc Picard from Star Trek Next Generation.
Oh, nice. That is not a weakness. That is life. I love it. Yep. It's possible. It is. That's it.
Do you remember this episode when he said that?
I don't think I do. No,
I do. So there was some game that you play by sticking little electrodes on your fingers and you twitch them, right?
I think I remember this.
And some pig face guy comes in, and he's all arrogant, and he sucked. Oh, and he's one of the world's best players at this game.
Oh, okay, right.
And he comes aboard the starship, and he and Picard and Data and the rest of the crew are hanging out, and Data says, I would like to play, and so, I would like to play. And so Data rolls up on him, and Data challenges him, and Data plays, of course, perfectly. Right?
Well, of course, because he's a super advanced android.
Right, and Data loses. And he says, wait a second, how is it possible I made no mistakes? And then Picard gives him this exact quote.
Yeah, it is possible to make no mistakes and still lose. That is not a weakness. That is life. That is pretty good.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. That is XCOM.
I remember this thing. This has stuck with me forever on that dumb Star Trek. I just want to.
That's a good line.
I don't know.
That's important for life.
It's important.
I mean, you really gotta. That's what makes XCOM great. Like you can make a mistake and still win. You can not make mistakes and still fail.
Right.
And that feeling of up and down is important for the gameplay.
Right. But
like a lot of my viewers have complained about the RNG to me actively. Like this game is unfair.
Right.
It's you've done everything right this mission and you still lost.
Right.
This mission was failed before you went in because the numbers of the enemies were just too high.
Right.
Like it.
Or 3 turns ago, you researched the wrong thing. And now all you have is window dressing for your guys. You don't have a plasma weapon that you need here, and
I did that too.
Right. You can't. You just can't win because you don't have the right stuff, right? So
yeah, the enemy type could just be the wrong type for you to deal with. It could be, play XCOM.
Yeah.
Play more XCOM.
If XCOM did a if it had Fortnite or Payday or
never gonna happen. There was a first-person shooter XCOM. We
Overwatch style combat, then I would do it. I want a gun in my hand. Right.
You have a gun. You got more than a gun in your hand.
No.
Everybody's gun in your hand.
It's the gun. The gun is in the guy's hands. They're not in mine.
Motion and
I want my mouse.
You can
do
what Toaster does in Save Scum if you want to. If something doesn't go your way, just reload.
Right. Yeah. Save Scum.
You can do that if you want to. That's what Toaster does. He's like, I lost a guy. I reloaded that mission. I'm like, what the hell, Toaster? You ruined the entire purpose of the game, man. You got to be Iron Man mode. I'm okay with misclicks. Like if you misclicks or bugs. Or stuff like that. Oh, one time I was firing a grenade, and something with my mouse happened. It was aiming at the target, and it was just like shot the wrong way.
Right.
The grenades are 100% accurate. They never miss.
Yeah.
So,
Kurt,
I don't know why you want to play XCOM but not have an XCOM game. Exactly. Right, Kurt? Tell him that.
Right. Because the other part of XCOM is awesome. Like I really did enjoy the strategic part of it, the research part of it, the globe.
That's really fun.
The getting funds, the making missions, like all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
and I actually like the first-person aspect way better than the deterministic type of stuff. So
yeah, fair enough. I can understand how that feels.
Right. Toaster's undefeated. Like he's the best XCOM player.
No dies my XCOM.
He's like none of my guys ever die. That's it.
Is that true, Prickant? They only have a 50% and 100% chance to hit?
No,
that's interesting.
It's like they roll. I have a 11% chance to hit. No problem. Fire. Reboot. Fire. Reboot. Fire. Reboot. Fire. Got it.
10 times. Got him.
Let's go. Got him.
No problem. Always hitting. You would spend a lot of time reloading.
Mm-hmm.
What about trying not to lose a single guy in an entire campaign? That's an idea I have for a challenge runs, Max.
Right.
Once I have these legend speed runs down, I think I will do something like Commander difficulty, Iron Man, no death.
No death.
And if a single soldier dies, I have to reset the entire campaign.
Kurt, can you find that episode? I kind of want to watch it again. If you tell me what number that is where it's Pigface and Data playing that dumb game, that would be interesting to know.
Probably could type that in. Probably literally type Data versus Pigface.
Oh, well, I don't know. There's a specific Pig face. Yeah. What episode? Yeah, maybe the quote. Yeah. So
The cool will probably do you.
anyway, if you could do that, that'd be good. I would actually like to like it or like to see it again, and I'd also like
there's
to
a
show it
game.
to the family because
Oh man, there's a game. Okay, you know StarCraft, right? StarCraft strategy game. You control the units and stuff like that, and then you have Fortnite or the other FPS games you mentioned. Now imagine a marriage of the two. Overwatch. Yeah. Imagine a marriage of the two, where there's one person who has the RTS overlay, and then all of his units that he has are controlled by humans.
right.
That's a game.
Which
I cannot remember the name of it.
that's awesome.
It's like Aliens versus something.
Yeah, Battlefield. One of the Battlefields, I think it was 2, had one role you could take was commander,
Right.
and essentially the commander was fairly useless first person. Right.
I
But
don't think, could you even do first person stuff?
yeah. Oh, 100%. You
Can't
actually
remember.
had to run somewhere and hide
Oh, did
so
you?
that you could pull up your HUD, program in and do drops and do bombs and do strikes and all this other stuff for everybody else, right?
Okay, that is okay. Natural selection is what this game is called.
Natural selection.
Natural selection. It is kind of like that. So as the commander, as the leader of one of the factions, you can like buy upgrades for your guys, give them new guns, spawn new dudes. It's like you're playing StarCraft on that side, and then literally every one of your units is controlled by a human.
Oh.
I'm trying to find a breakdown of it.
Oh, yeah.
Fast-paced multiplayer shooter that pits aliens against humans in a strategic and action-packed struggle for survival. This is a very interesting game.
So it's multiplayer, and one person is the Overwatch master, and the other one is everybody else is a shooter.
Right. There's one person on each team who is the commander.
Right. Cool.
And you have to say things like, "Hey, you three group up, go this way to this objective."
Right. Right. That's
I remember Natural Selection. Yeah, Natural Selection was pretty fun. Natural Selection 2 is out.
Yeah, Natural Selection 2. That's what I'm looking at.
I don't
It's the same
know.
way. Same way.
I've never played it, so I don't know if it's good. I've seen it. It looks good.
Very
Pictures are
positive, and recent reviews are mostly
yeah.
positive. I'm gonna add to my
It
wish
is
list.
very
It's $10.
positive. It is $10.
It's the right price.
You can get a 4-pack for $24.
Oh, there you go. Not even on sale. There you go.
Yeah, it's not that expensive even. It has some DLCs. I think they're all
It's all humans versus AI,
Aryans.
or is it?
No. Remember, both sides are controlled by humans.
Oh,
So you have an alien side and a human side, and
Okay.
then both of those sides are controlled by actual players.
I have to watch some
No
streams.
aliens.
I will have to watch some streams of this. See if there's.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that's crazy.
how they do
actually.
that. Cool.
A lot of bad about Natural Selection 2, but it recently came back into light. Oh really? Well, I mean, we were just talking about XCOM, and this is kind of sort of XCOM-y in that it has a strategic kind of overlay as well. Well, it's cool. Maybe that would be something cool for you, me, Wolfie, some other folks to jump in and do.
Yeah, it'd be good.
Are you good at StarCraft?
I was okay, and then back in the day, we would always just the first one. I actually have not played 2, but I did have before speedrunning was a thing. We would try and speed run up to bases and time ourselves to how to get to this progression with
Oh yeah,
Zerg,
right. Yeah, that's exactly. I mean,
Or
that's
whatever, right?
StarCraft turns into a puzzle game at some point where you're like, all right, let me fit this piece in here so I can do this thing, and then later I can fit this piece in here, and it's kind of like this thing that stacks on top of each other,
Right.
without even having to talk about micro and stuff like that. The first StarCraft is free now.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
Incredible.
The other one is we would always get accused of hacking because we would build so fast. We just got so good at
Oh yeah.
building or adding the second.
You mean getting accused of being Korean?
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Hey, Fat, what's up, my friend?
But it's like the peons. We called them peons no matter what race they were. You could be the Zerg.
Right.
It was
From
still
Warcraft,
a peon.
You're calling them peon.
But it was a robot for the humans. It's still a peon.
right. SCV,
You're right.
drone, and probe.
and it was peons because it was peons in the
Warcraft.
old Warcraft too. So
Me lord. Oh man, I'm trying to think of some. Really,
Yes,
there's
me
a lot of
lord.
good voice acting. There's a lot of good voice acting in
Right.
Warcraft.
yeah, and something on your mind? Yeah, the vulture. Yeah.
Oh right, yeah,
the
that is
vulture.
good. Oh man, the fire bat quotes are the best quotes.
I have fire bats on my soundboard right now.
Do you?
Are you trying to get invited to my next barbecue? Yeah. That's good. Nothing like a good smoke. Yeah.
Oh man, Blizzard was so good at voice lines.
Anytime Wes or somebody else that I know smokes would goes AFK for 6 minutes. It's like, okay, what else? All right, nothing like a good
6
smoke.
minutes?
Yeah. Yeah, nothing like a good smoke. I do the fire bat. So
Man, there's a lot of good quotes from StarCraft. Gosh, I remember playing it as a kid and constantly cheating my way through the campaign. There is no cow level.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of other.
And the siege tanks were probably my favorite because they had
siege tanks
the
were
normal
pretty
tanks.
good, yeah.
Then they would outfold with those little platforms, and then they just had this incredible range. They couldn't move, but that one was really good.
Splash damage though.
And dispense some indiscriminate justice. Yeah, it was great. It was great.
Fat, you got a new job? Nice.
Awesome.
Your boss is trying to convince you to stay though. Hey man, take that new money.
Take that money. Make that paper. All right, I have a problem for you to solve, and here's a conundrum. It's a good one.
A puzzle?
Have you heard of the trolley problem?
The trolley problem? No, tell me about it.
This turns into a bunch of memes that are fairly useless, but there's a couple of different things. The original dilemma is that there is also on screen. I have the runaway problem.
Literally a trolley.
A runaway trolley. It's a problem.
Sure. It's a runaway trolley.
Out of control. It's going somewhere. It's either going on track 1 or track 2.
Okay.
At the moment, it's heading towards track A, where 5 people are tied to the tracks.
Okay.
And you have a lever that can turn it to track B, where 1 person is tied to the track.
Okay.
Do you pull the lever?
So my choice is to actively commit homicide, or
you're not the one driving the trolley.
Well, no one's driving the trolley. It's a runaway trolley.
It's a runaway trolley. So,
but I'm the one pulling the lever.
You have a choice to make, where you can.
No, my choice is to let the trolley do whatever it wants.
Correct.
In which case, that would not be my fault, or I could pull the lever and kill that guy, which would be my fault, right?
Correct. But you would save a net of 4 lives, right?
A net gross of 4 lives,
right?
But I think with letting the trolley go, I wouldn't serve jail time.
Right. So this is the conundrum, right? Is hey man, I was here, but I did nothing to act. I did nothing to touch the scenario. It was already going to happen without me. That's
right.
That's the best argument of not touching the trolley at all. Is I don't want to get involved. This is not my area. I'm just a bystander of watching fate happen.
Right. In the way of getting involved, I now have a hand in this, and it's my fault that guy died.
Right.
Right. If the trolley runs over 5 people, then that trolley was run away. There was a malfunction. That's not my fault, right?
Right.
The real solution.
But I can, your person has to switch the track halfway so it spins out of control and destroys both sides. Well, what you might can do if you're you're just a hulk of a person, you could try and switch the track as it's going, because then you're going to pinch the wheels together and maybe slow it down enough for someone to untie the other one. So but if you miss it, you would have missed a chance to save 4 lives, because you're going to kill 1 if you miss it, or you may just let it kill 5 lives anyway and not even get involved, right?
Okay. So why is this a thing? I don't understand.
So here you go. So I'll get there. I'll get there in a minute. Stay with me. So then there's another conundrum. The conundrum is the fat man. Okay. Instead of pushing, I can stop this trolley, I think, but I need something heavy to push into it. Okay.
So you need a fat guy.
But there is a nearby fat guy that is near on a bridge. I can get up there and I can push him off in front of the trolley. And the same conundrum presents itself. In one, I pull a lever to save 4 lives.
Right.
The other one is I push a fat guy, not this fat guy, our buddy.
Any fat guy. That fat guy's fine.
I push him off. The fat guy dies, but he ends up stopping the trolley and saving the other lives, right?
Right. 6 lives.
Well, no. The fat guy dies.
Okay. Yeah,
so you're down 1.
So 5 lives.
Right.
Yeah.
So you save him. And as it turns out, the people are way more likely to pull the lever and save 4 lives than to push a person in and save the same 4 lives. I think with the fat man there, the fat man becomes there is no alternate path. And there's only 4 lives, so that it's always a net of 4 lives that you save.
I see.
But pulling a lever is way more impersonal than pushing a guy.
person.
But
Even though it's effectively the exact same thing.
It's effectively the same choice, but now you have your hands on a human.
Right. Pushing them into it
Pushing them
unwillingly.
into a way, and you still save the 4 lives. Versus
it's the same thing. The math still works out the exact same.
Exact
but
math
the implications of such are different.
People are so much more likely to pull the lever than to push the guy, because now you've interacted with your intent. Most people, everyone's intent mostly is to do no harm, is do as little harm as possible, right?
Absolutely. Only psychopaths.
Psychopaths don't really care, right? So the other one. Okay, so that's the other one. The further development of this example involves the case of the fat villain, who
so he's more human.
He is the one who actually put the people on the track.
Oh, the track. Now, are they willing to push him in there to save their lives?
Everyone is now more
They
likely
his life. Nice.
because he's the one that started this.
Sure, it's
They're
his fault.
way more likely to push him if he was the one that caused it. You still save 4 lives only, right?
Okay.
Versus a fat innocent person, or a fat unknown, just a person, versus a lever.
Someone at fault. If you can blame them for it, it's a lot easier to kill them.
Right.
If it was a death row inmate that you threw into the trolley to save 4 lives,
Right.
you're probably
And
more okay with that also.
If the villain, if it's the fat villain, it becomes more also like an imperative. Like, hey, it's not only morally justifiable. Most
kill
people's
the bad guy.
most people's answer is, you're kind of obligated to do that now.
Right.
You're now obligated to push this guy in the way. Right.
So if you built the tram that's doing this,
Well,
you could more likely be thrown into the tram.
well, no, it's not.
Or if you made the
down.
rails.
Right. Right.
Or if you made electricity, you're also the bad guy in this. If you made the rope that the guys are tied down on with, they're also more the bad guy too, because you have some hand in it.
Right.
It's like people who make guns are at fault for people who are killed by guns.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of like that.
Right. So, okay, so the reason I bring this up is this trolley problem most of the time is solved. There's actually an equation that does this sort of operation. And it's called the hand theorem. And what happens when, I think his name is Legend.
So this theorem can decide what I'm going to decide before I decide it?
Let me see. I think it's Legend Hand. It's Legend Hand. Where is it? Let me just go to the article.
So Kurt said something interesting about cars, self-driving cars.
That's where we're going.
Okay.
That's where we're going.
All right, I see.
Is that if I'm driving my car, and I skid out of control, in fact, I perform this equation in my head suddenly.
Right.
In court, I then go to court, and the jury starts weighing should he or shouldn't he, and loss of life, and even intent, and all of that business, right?
Right. Because that is what's important to the human court. Intent is a thing that a computer isn't really going to factor in, but people are definitely going to.
Right. So people do this. So now, and let me give you some of this deal here. It is called.
This is an interesting part when it's finally come to the self-driving car thing, because that man, I was watching a video of someone else using their self-driving car, and I was freaked out.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's called. The learned hand rule is what it's called.
Learned hand.
Learned
hand
rule. The learned hand.
Could you just pull the lever when it gets to the switcher thingy? That will cause a nuclear explosion, Pancake, killing everyone in the city. Duh.
It's called the calculus of negligence.
This is like the don't think of this as a situation to win. Think of this as the what's that Star Trek thing?
It's Kobayashi Maru all over again.
Kobayashi Maru, where there is no winning situation, really.
Unless you're Kirk and you reprogram the
cheat.
simulus and you cheat.
Can't cheat like Kirk.
Right. So here it is. It says the learned hand equation or learned hand rule is the owner's duty, as in other simulations, to provide against resulting injuries as a function of 3 variables: the probability that you'll break away, the gravity of the resulting injury, and the burden of the precautions. So,
Okay, right.
the burden of adequate precautions, meaning I can't physically push this trolley over, or
I
meaning
could easily be like, "Oh, trolley, stop," and the trolley would stop.
I got to go get this truck full of kids or this bus full of kids and wreck this trolley, but then I'm risking injury to the kids, right?
Sure.
In order to save 5, in order to
circumstances.
save 5 or 1, right? Versus the amount of injuries.
Superhero, if you're like, say you're like
Right.
Hancock, right?
Right.
And this situation is happening.
exactly
you
right.
would be liable because you are a freaking superhero. You could just
Yes.
stop the tram.
Hancock does this equation very poorly several
Should've gone
times
up.
through
You
the
should
movie.
just gone up.
Should have just gone
Why
up.
didn't you should just gone up. I don't understand
Yeah,
why you
okay, he
didn't
should have
go
gone
Obviously,
up. I
you
should have just gone up. Okay, okay, I just should have gone up. I mean, yeah, he should have gone up. But hey, I get to go home to my family, right?
I'm alive. There's
I'm alive.
millions and millions of dollars in damages,
Right.
and lots of people are hurt,
Yeah.
but I'm alive.
That's a really, if you guys haven't seen Hancock, it did not do well in the theater. It's a pretty darn good,
It's an okay movie. Yeah, I like it. It's one of
pretty
my
darn
favorites.
good movie. I enjoyed it quite a bit. So, anyway,
Okay,
it
so
was.
actually, let's explain that scene. Okay, so there's a scene where a guy's gonna get hit by a
Let's
train.
look that up.
He's like he is idiotically parked on the train tracks. There's a train coming. He can't get anywhere. His seatbelt is stuck. He can't get out. And Hancock comes by and he just puts his hand in front of the train, and the train slams into Hancock, and just madness ensues. Yes, as Will Smith in it, New Gone. So madness ensues. Like everything crashes. It's all destroyed. The guy's alive though, and then
Right.
people in the cars around start coming out and seeing Hancock there. And they're like, "What the hell, dude? You should have just taken the car and flown up."
Right.
Upwards. And then the train would have been fine. The car would have been fine. Everything would have been okay.
Yep.
So, I mean, literally Hancock did this equation inappropriately and was, I mean, not very smart about the situation, really.
Right. See if I
So-
can find this one. Yeah. He hits, the train hits him, and yeah,
I think he just punches the train or something, right?
stops the
He's
train.
Superman, basically.
He
in this
just
movie.
kind of shoulders into it,
Oh,
and
does it?
yeah, and it stops the train. Let me go. Let me
He's
grab
an
this other one.
immovable object at this point.
Right. Let me see. Hancock stops train 2. There we go. See if
The
I can display
conversation
this.
afterwards is the really funny part. Because the guy he saved is like trying to defend Hancock. He just saved my life.
Right.
But he's like, yeah, you should have gone up. You really should have just taken the car.
Right.
And moved away.
And that is that one person is Jason Bateman, who is a pretty darn good actor. He's from Arrested
Yeah.
Development in his own
Yes,
right.
I was just gonna say if you hadn't said it, Arrested Development is what I know him from,
Yep. So
which is really
here
good
we go.
actually. You guys should check it out.
Oh look, yeah, there's the GIF is working. So he flips the car over and just kind of pushes it back, but then he hits this train, and let me see if the other one's there. Okay, let me grab this other one. I got 2 of these GIFs. I did enjoy this movie.
Oh, he does flip the car too.
Yeah, he flips
No, I
the
really
car
like
over.
Hancock. I watched it multiple times.
Yeah.
I think Will Smith is a great actor.
Yep. Let me see if this will start animating. Oh, there it is. Oh, what? Okay, there it is. Starting to animate. But essentially, he causes all of this wreck.
Mass destruction.
Mass destruction
the losing
down
the
the
life
way.
of the guy would have been less
Right.
than the absolute destruction that was caused by the
Right.
the
He
train
essentially
flipping over and
hits.
stuff.
He essentially hits this thing with his shoulder or whatever, and the train pretty much accordions all the way down. It's a cargo train.
Oh man, it's amazing how much they animated in here and
Right.
what they kept real.
Right. So anyway, so then the scene right after him is them trying to argue out the learned hand rule of saying, okay, well, he could have just grabbed the car and flew upwards, right? He could have done that. Yeah, it's a cargo train, and he steps
the
for the
cargo
train. He
train
moves the
works.
car out the way like this. He just flips him over, and then he goes and gets him out. And then everyone else is going, what the hell, man? You know, why don't you go straight up? You know, if you're a
Pick the car
superhero,
up next time.
You know, and it's really a hilarious. It's also commentary on superhero movies, right?
Right, definitely is.
Of how much destruction
every time
goes
I
on.
watch the
Like,
Avengers, I'm like, oh my god.
Age of
It's like
Ultron,
ruining
yes,
this entire
the
city.
city is
Like,
level.
you might as well not have saved it. Like,
Right.
it's dead.
Right. The city is
Everyone's
level.
dead.
Yeah. See, I mean, there's so much buildings falling down. I mean, the Hulk is just destroying everything, trying to fight these guys.
like indiscriminately destroying buildings and stuff. Like,
Right.
like may as well not save it at this point. So that's what happens to XCOM, the original. XCOM goes in and just flattens the area.
Right.
Just destroy everything.
I remember
for
the
sake of
original.
killing the aliens.
Yeah.
So I always feel like that after a mission too. When I come into a town and 90% of it gets destroyed, I'm like, saved you guys.
Gotcha.
See you
Hey,
next time. Hey,
Hey,
call us
kiddo.
when you need us. 1-800
Let me-
aliens.
yeah, let me
We'll
know.
come immediately.
let me know. So anyway, there you go. This is the learned hand rule. Well, here's the thing: is that right now people do this every day when
Make these decisions.
with these
I think
decisions.
they make them. People make these decisions in much smaller
Quick.
brains,
And yes, and
and they make them immediately. Right?
they make them on the spur of the moment, and even instinctually of turn away from the squirrel, and I go hit the kid, right? That I didn't
Yeah,
see was
sometimes-
there, right? There's
Right,
that sort
happens.
of stuff.
I mean, to turn away from the squirrel and wreck my car and kill myself
Right.
is a common one as well.
So I saw this one is that so now that learned hand is now decided by juries, essentially, right? It's now
Okay.
decided in a courtroom. Well, here's the thing, is that when you have self-driving cars, I was reading this article on Wired, now an equation will actually determine
Oh,
an equation will determine who lives and who dies.
because of the driving cars.
Because of the
Self-driving
driving cars, right? And so now that when a car picks up all of these objects in the camera, a car is now the onboard computer is now going to go. I'm going to turn the steering wheel left instead of
And yep, I'm gonna kill this guy
a
instead of hitting
feeling-
these other people.
emotional human
I'm not
doing
mad
the
at that.
thing. That
I'm
a
okay
human,
with that, really.
A human that can empathize with this, right? So if a human makes the wrong decision and said, look, I was near this market and this couple walked out in front of me and we made eye contact, and the only thing I could just think of is I did not want to hit that couple, and I turned it over and I crashed through a marketplace, and I still hit two people that were having coffee through this window. And I'm so sorry. I can empathize with that scenario and go, I probably would have done the same thing. Your instinct and your emotion says jerk the wheel out of the way, right?
Sure.
And to the right is our natural instinct, right? That's out of oncoming traffic. You don't want to go into oncoming traffic because
Not really.
self-preservation is the number one order of business. We all know that from Star Trek 2 because Kirk says survival's first order of business. That's why he was hungry when they were running, right?
Sure. Yeah.
We all know about that. So our instinct to turn left
100%
into,
correct.
our instinct to turn left into traffic is not there. Our instinct is either straight or right. I did apply the brake. I was screeching to a halt, and the only thing I could think to do is jerk it to the right to avoid them. I'm so sorry. I did not intend these consequences, right? And
Sure.
the jury can now empathize with that person and go, I get it. I can absolutely see myself doing the exact same thing. This should not be. This is not criminal intent. This is not manslaughter. This is not irresponsible. This is not negligence.
I mean,
there's
yeah,
no
sure.
there's
I
no
still think
crime.
it's
There's no crime here. I empathize. Boom.
It's still a car. It's still a computer doing it, though.
Replace that human with a car
Sure.
and
Look
a
at another
computer that does the same thing.
Right.
Now we can't empathize with them.
Can we not? I don't know. I feel like I probably can see the decision-making of the car even clearer than the decision-making of the human. In fact, I'll know the car didn't make a mistake. I'll know that the car put its brakes on as soon as possible, did all the things it was doing, wasn't distracted because it's driving the car. I think I'll empathize with the car more than with the person. Maybe not empathize. I would I would be willing to trust more the car driving itself.
You'd
than
be
a
more
human
confident
driving
in the
car.
car's decision than the person's decision.
Probably the car made the right decision with the information that it had.
This thing ends up
Exactly,
arguing.
Kurt. You can logically explain the algorithm like this is why the car did this thing. So
Right.
there is no blame.
Right.
I'm excited. I'm excited for cars. Okay,
Well,
guys.
now.
Car drive me.
Oh yeah.
Take Whataburger car.
the
gotcha.
loss of life will just
plummet.
almost be eradicated.
Like,
for
insurance
self-driving
companies
cars.
are going to be furious.
Right.
People are going to stop buying. Car insurance will be a thing of the past, probably.
Yeah. Well, maybe so. Maybe so.
At some point, you don't need car insurance. When was
Why
the
would
last
you-
time you heard about someone having a car
When's the
accident?
last time you had a car wreck?
There's no car
Oh.
accidents. There hasn't been a car accident in 6 years.
Flooding, though, that's the one you don't want to get. That's the one you
Apparently. Every 200 years, get flood insurance, guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting to show that in this article is talking about how now instead of juries solving this rule, now it's going to be solved by lawyers. Let me find this one statement that I thought was good. Lawyers.
Yeah, okay, so Kurt says his theory is that by effect, insurance rates for very safe cars will increase because self-driving cars would rather crash into a very safe car than a not safe car. So if the car itself can identify the safety rating of a car it could crash into, it may decide to crash into your car because it believes that you'll be safer in the case of an accident than this Pinto that Jose's driving.
Right.
Because he doesn't have a self-driving car.
This is one from May. It says lawyers, not ethicists, will solve the robocar trolley problem. Like they're gonna solve this, right? Lawyers are gonna sue,
right?
And then software is going to update with this thing, and then it's going to be lawyers, and maybe it might even be lawyers plus insurance adjusters will go.
This is what we want to see. This
is our equation. It's like that scene
Because
in
they're
Fight
going to put a
Club.
dollar value on human life.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
That's exactly what they're going to do.
That's the scene from Fight Club where they go, the amount of damage it could potentially cause times the likelihood of it causing times this other factor, and then it's a likelihood of sue, and it's A times B times C, and if that adds up to more than this value, we pay. If not, we don't pay.
Right.
And it is it is an equation. It is A times B times C. That's
right there.
it. Right.
Okay, Kurt said it's not his theory, but we can pretend it's his theory. It makes it more personable.
By effect is that insurance rate for very safe cars will go up, but self-driving cars prefer to crash into a car that's safe. The drivers are crashing not so safe cars. Right. So that, so if my car camera and its software can identify, oh, this guy has a recent model Honda Civic, so I know he's safe.
Models, right? Right.
Versus a 1988 Oldsmobile Buick over here.
Right.
I'm aiming for that Civic.
Right. The Civic's not going to take as much damage.
Right.
They know the class.
Airbags, crumple zones, all of that sort of stuff, right?
For what manufacturer do you work? A very large one.
A very large one, right.
I don't get that.
Right.
That's interesting.
So,
I mean, I'm excited for self-driving cars. I'm super nervous about it, though. I think that people who drove cars, actually drove them for, extended period of time, are going to have difficulty adjusting to not having their hands on the wheel.
Yes.
Because being in a car is extremely scary for me. Like I am.
Is it?
I'm worried about.
Are you on yellow the whole time?
Yeah, I mean, I might be on red the whole time. I mean, it's, have you been into the car with another driver and your foot goes down on the brake?
Oh, 100%. I'm in the passenger seat. I'm in the passenger seat jamming my foot in the floorboard half the time the wife's driving.
It's because you're not getting any textile feedback, right?
Yes.
Your wife may not be driving bad, but when you put your foot on the brake, you feel something. You're used to feeling something, and you don't feel it, and you're like, I'm not actually braking, and then, so that's 100% for me. I'm looking at mirrors while I'm doing it, like that. So the stress of having someone else drive is already extreme enough. When I'm driving a little bit more confident, having nobody driving, literally actually not a human being driving, is going to be very stressful for me emotionally.
100% it will. Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to, like, logically I should just be like, oh, this is like way safer. There's no issue.
Yes. And here's the
Emotionally, it's
thing:
impossible to get
is
that
fast forward that long, fast forward for that amount of time, and we're gonna be going. How the hell did we ever drive ourselves?
Yes. There's going to be a history book that Ash's son is reading, and it's like the great car fiasco of X year to X year, and how so many people died, so much life was lost,
Right.
so much production was lost,
So
and it was
the
insane thing that we did at this one point, letting people drive their own motor vehicles.
Right. So the car, the human driven car will last somewhere around 150 years, right? So
1880,
1890, I think, when the first ones rolled off.
Okay.
1891. The only reason I know that is because in the Sherlock movie, it's 18. He says it's 1891, and they drive a car around the streets of London. They're still horses. And everyone looks at him weird because he has a car and no one else does. So if it's 1890s, fast forward all the way to, say, 2040, when it becomes law. What do you think, 20 years?
It's going to become law at some point.
2040?
You can't drive your own car.
You can't drive your own car.
At the very least, no. You have to have controlled driving.
Right.
We're going to be painting the roads specifically to deal with these sensors on the self-driving cars everywhere.
Yes,
It could be
100%.
mandatory. We're never going to make another road meant for human driving at some point.
Right.
That's
Roads.
just going to be it.
I'm hoping that roads become. There's this cool thing with roads where, it's like a recycled plastic that becomes a road, but it's porous, and it's very easily replaceable. Let's see, plastic.
Yeah, Kurt, there is going to be some. Okay, Kurt's talking about
Futuristic
taxis in particular that are going to be self-driving. So it's just a robot comes picks you up, basically. 'Cause they're not going to want to play employees if they don't need to be in there, right?
100%.
So the taxi comes picks you up. You're in the back of the taxi. You can do whatever you want in there.
Yes.
I mean, maybe there's a camera on you, but no one can stop you right then and there. You can do whatever you want in there. You're going to be drinking, and there's a reason. I mean,
yeah.
Maybe taxis might be the only thing that people start using. What's the point of having a car when you can just call the self-driving car anyway?
100%. Right. Call it a self-driving car. Yeah.
And taxi guys, everyone who works in the taxi industry is about to lose their job in the next, 40 years.
They're fighting an uphill battle for sure. Yeah, I would say. So here's the stuff that I think about is what business do I need to be in knowing that people are about to have a ton more time on their hands in the car, right? Do I need to sell car specific pillows for sleeping, car shaving kits, tablets, kind of all your entertainment or whatever. You know, so given that we're about to have
stuff.
30 minutes to 2 hours back of our time, and we're going to be trapped in a car.
In a box.
In a box. Like, I've already got this to fiddle around on, right, when I'm trapped. What else do I need? What else do I need in there, right?
Right. It's an interesting picture you got here. Plastic road, huh?
Right.
It looks like it break, man. I feel like plastic is not... It doesn't bounce back well from damage. Asphalt does. Especially when cars are driving on it.
This is like it's a super high dense plastic.
Plasteel, maybe?
Something. It's porous.
Oh, is it?
Data can go through it. It's very easily modular and replaceable.
Whoa.
Like this is that's what those data cables are. So anywhere you have a road,
you have internet?
Recycled bottles. Yeah, here's the other one that I was reading about. This is some time ago.
It's very interesting.
Yeah,
I'm excited for it. I mean,
show you that.
We've been waiting for this a long time.
Right.
I guess I'm excited for the point, like I said earlier, where children are being born and they have no concept of ever driving a car.
Right.
A driver's license, what's that?
Right. I mean, it's now just a permit to ride, or your Uber rating, I don't know.
I don't even know. It would make. I mean, you don't need any. Like, you could be 12 and have the car take you to school, and that would be fine.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. It's a greener alternative to asphalt that is stronger, easier to maintain, and more resistant to temperature extremes than conventional blacktop.
You know what job's not going to go away, though? School bus driver. Because I bet you there still needs to be a person on the school bus if there's going to be a large amount of children on there. So you're not going to be a school bus driver. You're going to be like a school bus moderator.
Right. Yeah, it'll be... Yeah, or... I mean, in Israel, they already have a security guard on all their school buses.
On the buses?
Yeah,
That's
they
awesome.
do.
Maybe that's what it would be then. It would be a bus guard rather than a driver.
Right. And I watched some special about that.
Shoot. You could do classes on the bus.
Right.
You know what? Why do we even go to schools anymore? Let's just do classes online.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Where do we need to go that takes us to school? Is like University of Phoenix online. I can do so much and get a degree, and like the only thing that I won't have is I think we thought about this, didn't we? We talked about this before. Like, everything I can get online other than it was. Labs, application like labs, where I got to go in and do an experiment. So like engineering. I went to engineering school. I have a chemical engineering degree, right? So
you don't have the chemicals to mix together to see.
Correct.
What's going on.
I had many hours in a lab doing these experiments and proving out some of the things that we did in the class, right? So I don't have classroom. I don't have. I do have the classroom. I do have the material. Everything that I have now is available online that I had to study in books to get my degree. What I don't have is application, which is a lab. I also don't have grading. That is like paper grading of, I guess you would say abstract grading. So if I wrote a paper, someone has to read it and say, did he prove his points? Right now, computers can't do that. Computers can do A, B, and input this math thing.
And they can see if you made a spelling mistake or didn't put a comma in certain places.
Right. I can F7 and make sure F7 make sure my grammar is correct, but it doesn't mean I proved my points of my thesis, right?
Right.
Or I successfully defended this logic environment. So I need that one. And then the other one is what they don't have online right now is accreditation, meaning in the workplace who hires people, they believe that a degree from Harvard is more than a degree from Phoenix Online.
Absolutely.
Right?
Like, oh no, okay, Harvard is a big deal, right?
Right. So that is the, if you can solve those four things, there's no more school. Right. There's no more school building.
Having a teacher to you, to have a teacher near you or next to you, in-person communication with your teacher is pretty important.
You could still do online, and you could still staff someone up online who took Skype questions, and they could ask, and we can do whiteboarding online. Like we could do that sort of tutoring and interaction. 100% we can do that, right? So that to me,
modems,
that to me falls in the bucket of the material. Like we can still do that, but the labs. And the labs, grading, and accreditation.
Do you think Harvard will be online at some point?
MIT is online right now.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
MIT
That's
online
a step in the right direction.
Courses, and it's all free. Like a ton of it is is online. Here it is. I was just reading about this. A ton of MIT open courseware. They've just started putting all this stuff out. So there's your link. There's your link in chat.
That is crazy.
They're already doing it.
I guess that's what MIT would do, right? I mean, that's what you do if you're trying to be on the forefront. You need to beat them to this.
Right.
You need to be doing this already.
Yeah, you need to be doing this already. Plan. And thinking about let's figure out, see what happens.
They jumped on the bandwagon, and they're going to be known for a long time for doing this online thing.
Mm-hmm. And look at one of their classes, the Engineer of 2020. What is the Engineer of 2020 going to be doing? Human factors of engineering. Course description. Numerous recent studies have shown that U.S. has relatively low percentage of students who enter science and engineering and a high dropout rate. Correct. We're getting our butts kicked in the engineering, right? The only reason we still have the Silicon Valley and the U.S. leads in innovation is the N1B1, which is the visa that allows foreign students to come stay and work here. That's it. Michio Kaku was talking about this. I think I heard him talk about it like 2 years ago, and he said that when he was in graduate school in the 70s, it was 95% U.S. born. In the 80s, it was like 80% U.S. born. In the 90s, it hit half and half. And he says, my graduate students these days that I take into my class are 95% foreign-born.
Wow,
Like
that's
they-
crazy.
and he
That's a
says-
huge swap there, and
Yes.
not very long.
And he says the reason why is public schools are sucking. We don't put the need on education anymore, and engineering
No.
jobs. Engineers are getting poached by other businesses. I went to school for engineering. I do not work in engineering. I work in IT, right? So that's an example. Or I was an engineer and I went to work for my own construction company. I don't engineer. I CEO now. So I'm not really engineering and doing the
Right.
problem solving. Or I was an engineer and I now end up as, manager of finance. I have an engineering degree, but I did not go to engineering. That happens a ton with the
Coaching
degrees that do
engineers?
come out.
Okay, sure. Interesting.
So,
Vault asks,
current cultures of also the high cost of education, right, is very prohibitive for getting engineering school now. When I went to school, it was doable. And with the prices that I paid, I could pay for my 2 kids to go. Nope, not anymore.
that's a huge one.
Not
The
anymore.
price of education is really tough.
Yeah.
Lots of students are not able to even get their own places. They have to live with their parents still.
Right.
And that's become the norm rather than the exception.
Right.
That it just goes to show you how tough it is to pay for education.
It's
just expensive.
And that's why we're streaming. What's up?
Get
Education ain't
Ash
free.
paid.
Hit me up.
Hey,
Affiliate.
go-
Twitch affiliates.
go, yeah, go
Twitch
sub to
affiliates. Hit those
Clowntown.
loots. Hit those bits. Thank you very much.
Is this still September too? Yeah, you get 50% off on subs still.
It is 50%
So
off,
you're-
man. Sub to
you're
your
fresh
favorite
up. This is
streamers.
a great time to get
Yeah.
your affiliate.
But I mean, by the time Ash and the other one get to
Yeah, I can't
get
remember her
to,
name.
by the time Ash and the other one get to college, they it may have completely shifted and fell on its
true.
head, right?
It may be more reasonable.
Right.
It
And
may
here's
just
the
be
thing:
online courses.
there was when I was doing school, there was high school, then there was trade school, then there was university, and it was all kind of in, except for the upper tier like Harvard, Yale, MIT, all the expensive ones. It was all fairly doable. Like we were able to do it with one income, single mom, at the time, and
That's
me
crazy
working
now.
jobs
No
plus
way.
scholarship plus single mom plus me working jobs and
Would not work
saving.
out.
We managed to do it. No, cannot do it anymore.
Definitely not.
Here's the thing. Well, that middle is gone. Now it's all expensive or it's all trade schools. There is this huge market in the middle for give me somebody with a reasonable education that doesn't give a goddamn about safe places, that's safe spaces, that does not
good luck
that
on that,
gets out of
Clowntown.
the political. That look, all we want to do is teach your computer to teach your kid to use this computer and to kick butt in IT. And we're going to teach them SQL. We're going to teach them all this other stuff. We're going to teach them servers. We're going to teach them Windows. We're going to teach them infrastructure. And we're going to
Online. We're gonna do it
and we're
all
going to teach them
online.
some management stuff. We're going to do business, and most of it is online, and it's reasonable. It's a couple grand a year, a couple grand a semester. It's doable. You can scrimp together and save and do it on one income, right?
Right.
That market is wide ass open for people who want to put that together. So
my
University
gosh,
of Phoenix online, MIT online, all that free stuff, do it. It's all there.
Here, the
There
student
you
loan
go.
is basically the best loan you can get in Norway. One of the
Community
lowest
colleges,
interest loans.
community colleges
you
are
guys-
exploding. 100%.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was lucky. I got to go to community college for 2 years for free. 'Cause
GI,
of,
GI Bill.
GI Bill, baby. I should
Yeah.
have paid to
Yeah.
go to school.
Right.
So, I don't have to deal with that, luckily.
Dude, that market is wide open. That market is wide open for someone to come in and do a high quality engineering degree with no football stadiums to pay for, no high price basketball coaches to pay for.
No, you sure?
Just
It's not like sports are dying or anything like that.
just kick ass engineering school.
Oh, I saw-
and we're
I saw
gonna
an
teach your kid
article
to do the thing, and that's it.
The other day that some of the owners of the NFL are trying to make their service more like Twitch, make it more interactive, and
Yeah.
stuff like that, taking things from Twitch
Yep.
because they're dying,
Yes. So
dying.
here's the other thing: is that
loads of robbery,
Two
yeah.
things. University of Missouri, who did all of the safe spaces and all that political stuff, went down, and Ferguson and all those riots and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It was 2 years ago.
Right.
Year over year, down 40%, down 40% enrollment.
Whoa.
Good.
Golly.
Good.
That's brutal.
Good. And they're having to cut staff. They're having to cut, like, they're trying to figure out ways to make ends.
More
Good.
safe spaces.
Good. Like,
In capitalist America, bank robs you. It's true.
Kick your ass. That's good.
Loans.
Right.
I mean, it's the school. The schools don't help with their high costs, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the bank is there to give you a loan if you want it.
Right. And I escaped with probably about, I think I escaped with about $9,000 in student loans, which
No,
is
that's not that bad.
Not bad at all. So between single mom income, I got some scholarship, I worked, paid for a little bit, and some loans. So I have an engineering degree from a pretty damn good engineering school. I will tell you that at some point. But
okay.
And I went for 5 years. I did a 5-year engineering degree because it was hard.
Nice.
I'm smart, but I wasn't that smart to do all that. It sucked.
Easily.
It was tough. And I went for 5 years, and I escaped out with $9,000 in student loans. And
That's
I think
not bad at all.
Not bad at all. I was paying. It was going to be that I paid $128 for the rest of my life.
Okay, right. Monthly.
And I sacked up and I said, I'm not letting it get out of the next. In my first couple engineering jobs, I said I'm going to bury this student loan before I get a house, before I get married. I'm just going to knock it out. I was single and making an engineering degree. I can scrimp and save $9,000. And that was back in the time I was going to Vegas and bringing home 3 and 4K jackpots. I just between a couple jackpots and my savings, I just threw it and buried that loan. It's like out.
Nice.
Out.
The bald asks, how much does the prestige of the university factor into the worth of the degree? I can answer that. It's the only thing that's important.
Okay.
That's the most important part.
My boss is a director at my company.
Accreditation number 1.
Okay. And he says, because his kids are now in college, and his kid was looking at Baylor.
Okay.
Baylor U, and Baylor is a private university. It's up in Waco. I know that because I wrecked a car in Salado, which is on I-35 up there. Right?
Okay.
And
interesting.
And he was in a local. He was in his other one, which his other kid was thinking about going to University of North Texas, which is a state school. And Baylor has a better name than University of North Texas. University of North Texas is up near Dallas, I think. It's out in Denton, and smaller community of Denton. Not a ton. It's state subsidized, so it's Denton, right? And he said, "You are going to North Texas because, quote, I pay the Baylor grads the same as I pay the UNT grads." That's
really?
it. We're not shooting for Baylor. You're going here.
Interesting.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
That was not my expectation.
Right. And that is becoming more and more true. Is like, look, if you have someone from, like from Cal or Caltech, and someone from UNT, and the Caltech dude's an ass.
Very well.
Very well. Don't matter if they're both applying for the job. All I'm looking for is check. That's it. Now the rest of it is going to be, can you fit in? What are we going to do here? What's your attitude about all that other stuff? That's it.
Important.
Right.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. Degree from anywhere will matter?
I would say that less and less that matters. It used to matter when I was in school.
Sure.
It 100% did help me get my first job. After that, not much.
Okay.
Because very quickly I jumped out of engineering and started doing other stuff that I was more interested in.
Okay, then. Never mind. Bald.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
But
apparently,
I will say it does help you at Harvard, at Yale, at some of these big Stanford, at Caltech.
I bet it helps most when they also went to the same school. That's probably where you get the biggest credits. And it hurts most when they went to a rival school. Or
I don't think so. I think the guys at Yale will hire an MIT guy.
They're like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
or
I feel like if it's
an
MIT guy,
Harvard. It's Harvard and MIT. And I actually had a boss that went to MIT, and she was freaking smart as
SMRT.
Smart as and
she was well educated.
And all the toilets in MIT, It was great. It was there were signs on all the toilets. Behind it, it said "Flush twice to get to Harvard."
Nice.
Massachusetts humor. All right. There you go. So, I would say that in the next say 5 years, my hope is that market is now very much disrupted as these bigger schools.
It seems like it's disrupted right now.
Right, as these bigger schools see their less, as the fewer and fewer enrollments because you can't afford it. Right. At either price, there's pressure on prices to come down on.
I mean, you're
fewer
looking
stadiums.
to do something else,
Right.
basically.
Yeah.
It's just too much.
It's too much. It's too much.
Looking for some other way to get an education to
100%.
use that to make money.
100%. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's pretty commonly discussed at this point that tuition is so high that you're going to be in debt for so long, and the payout is so little that you're almost better off doing other things.
Right.
Maybe you are better off doing other things.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
You're right. And nowadays you need five degrees and 30 years of experience. It doesn't help that the oil industry is having trouble as well.
Right.
I mean, they're always downsizing now. We're always looking for an alternative means of energy.
Yeah.
I wonder how much self-driving cars are going to improve fuel efficiency.
Oh, so yes, absolutely.
That's just going to be another hit in fuel prices, right?
Right.
Fuel prices are just going to continue, assumingly, go down at some point because you need less of it now.
Yeah. Here's the thing: is that so one of the first things that Obama did when he got in office and did that car buyback program, that was a very financially horrible thing to do, right? They paid out so many in federal subsidies to get people in newer cars, right?
Okay.
The net effect of that is not going to be realized in Barack Obama's term.
Right, definitely. Most of the things you do as president are not going to be realized in your term.
Right. That was
two of your term.
All of that was so freaking expensive to do. What it is realized, though, is over time you use less and less of this fossil fuel and less of this thing. So in terms
it's an overtime payout.
It's an overtime payout. So there was a lot of criticism about how expensive that buyback program was, about how it's $5,000 that's just going straight to the guy that it's still straight to these credits on getting them out of a car, and people were just upgrading new cars, and many people didn't even get more fuel efficient cars that they were intending to do.
Right, they just got a new car.
But here's the thing: is that like every year, every single year, cars improve by a bunch.
I mean,
in terms
they got guys
of
working on it. That's
either
you're actively up to, right? With cars
more
right
efficient
now.
handling, or braking, or crumple zones, or
You're not
airbags.
going to reinvent the wheel, but you're going to increase this efficiency of this piece by 1% this year,
or cheaper cost per part, or more universal parts, or better tires, or fewer emissions. And we're not talking by an eighth of the emission. We're talking 20% here, 11% here, like these small emissions. Over time, what that does is that program took a lot of heat at the time. And I know a ton of people who just went out and got a new car just because it was, God, I'm going to go get me a new car, But it was a very, very big, it's a big payout over time because now you're claiming less human human damage for insurance, less cost on medical,
it's all around when you
safer cars, fewer emissions. Some of those junker cars, those cars were taken off the road. You could not resell them. Right. It was federally mandated things to you had to pour all this horrible chemical into the engine and cripple it. And then it had to be disposed of in this certain way, and you had to you had the chain of custody from dealer where they turned it in all the way to scrapyard was this monster paper trail for the dealers to do. It was a big deal
because they wanted to 100% murder that car.
Right. They didn't want the dealer just to turn around and resell it and make some more money off of it.
Right. It needed to be actually killed.
It had to be killed, and for the dealer to not be shysters and do that, they had to make this chain of command that was crazy, and for the people to get their payout, it had to be
Right.
this certain way, right?
So they
and-
were in. Okay, that's interesting. I don't know anything about this actually. I never heard about this.
So it was like, I think it was Obama's first. I think it was his first year. It was like the first 100 days. It was when he pitched. I don't think it went into effect until his second year, if I was mistaken.
Euthanize the cars, yeah, basically.
It was basically euthanized. It was to take all these junkers off the road. It did. I mean, there were people who had 2-year-old cars that changed them up. They got minor improvements, but there's a lot of folks that went 10 years up and 15 years up, which is monstrous amount in terms
That is
of
huge.
If nothing else, handling, braking,
Safety.
cost of repairs, safety,
Right.
all of that sort of thing.
The likelihood of breaking down on the side of the road and causing another accident is
feel
really high.
Right. I feel a difference in my Jetta than my my Honda, and it's 4 years newer. Right.
Right, definitely.
Definitely.
I mean, it's not a huge jump, but I mean, the technology advances faster as we go on, as we have better means of sharing it.
Right.
So
It's
4 years
awesome.
it's still got some stuff going on.
It's pretty. You can feel in the car. You can feel the car's difference in just a matter of 4 years. Very, very different feel in terms of
Sure.
how secure and how it responds when you turn and all that sort of stuff. It may be
And little tidbits
granted,
in it, you know?
it may be difference between Honda and Volkswagen, but these are some of the best automotive engineers working on this on the planet on these cars, right?
Right.
So, anyway, so we're in for some awesome times in terms of self-driving cars. The BMW, one thing I was reading about, the BMW self-driving car requires at this point one hand on the wheel.
hand.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, okay, by legal terms, you have to have control of your vehicle still.
Well, other cars are self-driving that are road legal, but BMW says, I want you to it won't start, or it will like start shutting down or whatever if you take your hand off.
Oh, really?
It'll start beeping at you and making you
Like, hey, put your hand back on.
Hey, put your hand back on here, right?
That's a bit weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel that if that was like the standard for everybody right now, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah,
But
it's
just
not. It's not.
Putting it on your consumer base just because
Right.
seems a little weird. That's like the thing where I have to have my seatbelt on or my car beeps at me. You know?
Right. Well,
So, and you know what happens when that happens? When people, you put your seatbelt behind you, right? You just click
Oh,
it
yeah, yeah.
behind you.
are you a seatbelt behind you person?
Oh no, I always wear my seatbelt. If I'm moving if
'Cause
if someone wants to switch cars with me, I put my seatbelt on. And I get in the car, I put my seatbelt on.
Okay, good.
There is no circumstance in which I don't wear my seatbelt.
What is the
And
major
sorry.
functional difference between a self-driving car and a train? Well, a car
Can you use a road?
One car handles fewer people, and car can go anywhere. A train has a fixed path. I don't know.
That feels pretty
can't.
obvious to
I
me.
can't speak into a train and go take me to Whataburger. I can speak into a car.
The train can't go to Whataburger. It's not going to happen.
Well,
the train
unless they
can't
put a
use road.
Whataburger on the
There's
track.
a major functional difference between the self-driving car.
Flexibility of destination is the major difference.
Yeah, there you go.
Flexibility of destination, right?
Yeah, for sure. That's what it is. Well, it depends on where you're at, I guess.
Right.
So other places have more public service transport than the United States does. The United States there's like none
Right.
anywhere. You'll be hard pressed to find buses. I think there's literally 3 bus routes. in the city of
Vegas.
Houston.
Vegas has a good.
Vegas makes sense as an exception because they have a lot of tourism.
Yeah,
there.
tourism.
So it makes
Tons
sense
of
that
tourism.
people with their own cars don't come. So taxis will be.
New York has a
prominent,
good
and buses will be
New York has
prominent.
a good subway system.
Subway system. I think that's maybe one of the only places in the United
Right.
States that has a subway system. In fact.
And now we're just counting on Elon Musk to save us and make that hyperloop where I could just roll up into getting this thing, and
all
it'll
about-
shoot me from L.A. to San Diego or wherever.
I'm all
L.A.
about
San
this,
Francisco.
any public transportation. I love it. I hate driving.
Yeah.
I've taken a bus to Austin multiple times.
Oh really?
and it's-
Oh yeah,
it's
with
fine,
with Ashley when she was
It cost me like $25
really
just to get on the bus to get there and to get back. Also, $25.
not bad. Can do.
It's on a double-decker bus that has AC and a charging port, and I mean, it's pretty nice actually.
Done.
I could fall asleep there.
Yeah.
It wasn't too bad.
That's
And if the
going to be the
bus
thing.
hits something, we're fine.
I think
The bus.
I think one of the things I was thinking about is sleeping in the car. Like I would totally nod off in a car if I was fast forward 10 years and self-driving
Okay.
cars are ubiquitous. I'm
Right.
used to it.
Yeah,
because
maybe.
like the first 6 months of me getting a
No.
self-driving car, F
I'm
that.
gonna be like, yeah.
I've got a death grip on that wheel, or I'm gonna have my hands are gonna be hover hands.
Just hovering.
Yeah, just hovering, like right.
I can have a conversation, maybe do some other things.
Right.
Like no traffic jams at all. There should be no traffic if it's all self-driving cars.
That's one of the
other.
Yeah,
The
that's
other
one
cars
of the
will talk
predictions.
to each other.
Right.
Hey,
that's
I'm
one
going to
of,
be coming
oh,
here at this point. There's no lights anymore. You're just like, yeah, okay.
That's one of
We're
the
just gonna
things that Michio Kaku was talking about. Is he says once that there's no more humans that are in control of cars, then they
Traffic
can
will
talk
go
to
away.
each other, and
Yeah.
they will go so fast.
Yep.
And they will pass within millimeters of each other.
Yep, and be totally fine.
And here's
totally
what's going to
safe.
happen: is humans will not be able to deal with the visual
That pressure.
with
They're
the
gonna,
visual
it's gonna,
freak
You're
out.
gonna get in your car, and then it's gonna take your windscreen away.
Right.
And you're gonna have something else. You have a movie play on there
Right.
instead.
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
hit a button to put the windscreen back up if you want to, but you're not gonna want to look at it.
You don't want to look at
It's
it.
like from iRobot.
Right.
They're going like 800 miles
Right.
per
They're
hour.
just going so fast.
so fast
Yeah.
because there's no reason not to, right?
Right.
You're being fuel efficient by going quickly.
And who needs a light? Computers don't need a light. They'll just weave, and cars will just go, right, and that's it. They won't
Right,
ever
exactly.
touch. Like one will
It'll
go
be a
microns in
millisecond
front
difference.
of
Right,
one will
microns.
go microns in front of the other one. They'll never touch, right?
I see Pancake says, why not make public transport everywhere? Self-driving cars will be public transport. You won't own cars anymore.
Yeah, maybe.
And eventually,
There
you're like,
won't be a reason.
There
There won't be a reason to.
You're gonna get on your phone and say, I have to be at work at this time, and
Right.
the app will say, okay, there will be a car at your house when you need to leave.
Yeah.
And that will be that.
Yeah, a car will be at your house between 7:54 and 7:56. You have 2
need to be
minutes to
ready.
board this car, or
You
you're
need to
effed.
get in the car. Right. That's it.
That's it.
It'll all be public transport, and it could. I mean, you could maybe it'd be like a thing you could tick to have like a discount on your car tax that month if you want, or you're okay with picking up other passengers on the way.
Right.
And there'll be lots of different things.
Right.
It will be public transport.
No, see, so it's going to be private companies for a while until
It'll
it
probably
becomes
be
like
private companies.
like a
And then
common.
once-
If it ever goes common carrier, then we have that whole discussion about private versus government.
I think there will always be a private market for this.
Right.
Just because people are going to be willing to pay more for something
Right.
nicer. And
But yeah,
that's how it is right now.
This
right?
is totally the private market. Government just says make a roadworthy vehicle, make it safe. Here's your requirements. And they're starting to try and figure out what laws do we need to put in place for self-driving cars, right? So,
Right. People will
Anyway.
still prefer to have their own customizable cars. Maybe so, Max. That's a good point.
so
That could be a thing.
For
'Cause
the
people do like their
ballers-
cars.
so-
right. The
so
ballers.
can I just?
What if you see? That's the private market right there. I want a really nice car because I'm going to go to the club. So let me
Yes.
order this higher price car for $25 this
Yes,
night, and
for
I
a
can
night.
keep it for whatever I want. It looks
I'm a-
really nice.
I'm a rent me this Bentley, or I'm gonna rent me this.
Right. I'm gonna
this-
rent me
this
something
Rolls
super
Royce,
nice. I don't
right?
have to buy the damn thing. I
I'll
want
buy
it
it.
for tonight
Shh.
because I'm going to the club.
I
right?
can look. The Civics are ready to pick me up for $12. $12 a
Right.
night. Done. Let's do a Civic. Or
Easy peasy.
if I'm taking my lady friend out, well, let's
Wanna
do a
double it?
let's do a $37 car because we
37.
got
Dang!
yeah,
Get a
dang.
limo.
Woo, ball.
See, that's going to be our future, guys.
Right.
That's where it's at. So,
Right.
did you hear about the guy who did Netflix? He had the idea behind Netflix. He was
Uh-huh.
like started it up. It was his kind of his thing. He moved on to another program that is now going to do a monthly subscription to see as many movies as you want in a month. So right now, I think you can pay $7, $5, something like that, and you can see as many movies as you want.
Reed
month.
Hastings,
Is that
think
his
is his
name?
name.
Reed Hastings is his name.
I think.
So already, so this guy wants to basically your night on Friday. You say, okay, let's go see a movie. So you get an Uber. So someone comes picks you up, brings you to the movie theater.
He's handsome.
Where you've already where you already paid a fee to go into the movie and see whatever movie you want.
Mm-hmm.
So you basically you have this like super, I guess I want to call it lazy, but like smart, efficient is also what I would call it. A lazy culture where you get picked up, brought to the movie, don't pay anything, come back to your house. And that's how you could see 3 movies if you wanted to.
Interesting.
$5 a month. The Uber, Netflix ruined Blockbuster. And it did, 100% print. And then now he's trying to bring it back. He's trying to bring it back to the movie theater at this point.
You know
'Cause
what?
The movie theater is their own interesting experience, yes.
Good. Your late fees. God damn it!
Right.
Your late
Blockbuster,
fees.
you sucked.
Oh,
You were really
suck.
bad,
You
Blockbuster.
dunk on your late fees.
You were terrible.
Piss
okay?
off on your late fees. Dunk on you.
Blockbuster service is top notch. Print track. Or do you have like stock in Blockbuster or something?
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Blockbuster, Mr. Buster, what are you doing?
See, Unlimited Movie Pass sounds awesome. Most theaters make money on concessions. It
Yes.
seems like everybody but the movie theaters understand that.
Yes.
That's the biggest issue. Movie theaters are kind of fighting against this. They don't want it to happen because they're saying we make ticket sales for money, but they make money off popcorn that costs like $12 for a big thing of it.
So
when they
much.
cost like 37 cents.
It's 37 cents
freaking-
for a pack, and I can do it myself,
Right.
or it's $12. That's
Right,
why
it's
people
crazy.
sneak that crap into their
Yeah,
their
that's why
purse.
people-
That's why they.
That's why people don't like you, movie theater,
Yeah,
because you
okay.
gouge them so badly. But if I can get the movie theater ticket for free, practically this trip that I'm
Right.
taking, I paid $5 this month. I get to do the movie. Like, okay, I can get a Slurpee this
Right.
time, which is ice with sugar water, which costs $12. But
Right.
very well, I'll have a Slurpee for my movie thing. I don't have to sneak something in.
Right.
So there you go, movie theaters. Think about that rather than think about the ticket sale that you're going to lose. By the
Right.
way they're doing this is super sketchy because what they're doing is they're giving you a card, and that card is a MasterCard, and you're paying the $5 a month, and you tell them before you go to the theater what you're going to see, and it's what it's going to cost, and they load it up with that money, and you go there and you give that to them. So the movie theaters literally don't have a choice but to participate in this because they have to block MasterCards.
Awesome.
Basically.
Yeah, you want to block? You want
so-
to block my MasterCard? What?
You can't.
I don't know.
You
I don't know these
literally
people.
Cannot.
Oh, it's awesome. That's awesome.
So basically, you can't stop people from doing this now,
Right.
And you really shouldn't.
Yeah.
Guys.
Yeah, Shady Plays. That is exactly right. That's why you pay. What's the most amount or most extravagant food I can sneak into theater? Exactly.
What's the most?
Like charge people a fair price and they won't bring anything in. That's
Right.
it. Yeah.
I mean, at this point, when you get Netflix for a monthly fee and watch, I don't even know how many terabytes of content.
Right. Bunch.
So much stuff that you can see
Yeah.
there.
The interesting thing is about Netflix. Good. I'm glad it busted up Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Here's the
I
thing,
mean,
though.
if your company goes under, there is usually a reason.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You did it. You did it, buddy.
You did. There was something that you didn't
Or
jump
you-
on the
or you didn't
on the
do,
train of.
right?
You're right. You just sat there. You're like, I own Blockbuster. Lol. I'll win forever. No, you won't.
No, you won't. Nope.
You got to do something here. You got to move forward. There's something you got to do. If Blockbuster had done the box, the red box thing first, there you go. Like
Right.
when your company can be literally a vending machine,
Right.
Maybe you had a problem in the first place.
And we're back to it's possible for Blockbuster to commit no errors and still lose. That's not a weakness. That's
right.
life.
Exactly. You didn't do anything wrong necessarily, but you didn't innovate.
Yeah. You can either lose by acts of commission or acts of omission, right? Where the stuff
Right.
you failed to do.
Not
Right.
participating in a mission
Right.
is the same as failing a mission.
Right.
As XCOM has taught me.
Yeah, as XCOM. Not your several years as
hey,
what,
sometimes
Master Sergeant Bishop or whatever. What was your
wow. A
what were you-
specialist.
Specialist Bishop.
Bishop.
Yeah.
I don't think so. No, because a lot of times when I was in the military, I was doing kind of both jobs, the leader job and the grunt job at the same time, and I never didn't participate in a mission. I really do think video games have a lot in a way taught me just as many things as my life in the military has taught me. Because there is lessons about management and stuff that you won't get until you're upper level management.
Right.
And video games are a great way to do that, right?
Yeah.
Because you get put in the manager role, no one cares because it's a low stakes game.
Yeah. So
Okay.
what I would
Video games are fun.
Yeah.
and
They're
interesting, and they teach you
100% fun.
things.
Yeah.
All right.
I've learned a ton about life from video games. My
All right, maybe tell me something you learned from life. Learned about video games. Learned about life from video games. I had a gremlin.
Oh.
Yes, I did have a gremlin, man.
freaking Ash played a game called on PlayStation 4, I think.
PlayStation 4?
Or
Is
3.
it a newer one? 3? 4? I don't know. Why do they even number these things at this point?
It's called the game
The
is
PlayStation
called
960?
Flower.
Flower?
Yeah.
That's strange. Is it? That's a very strange name for a game
Right.
for Ash to play.
Here it is. He played it while he was in Australia.
Oh, really?
And there it is. Flower is divided into 6 main levels and 1 credits level. Each level is represented by a flower in a pot on a city apartment windowsill, and upon selecting the player is taken to the dream of that flower. Once inside the level, the player controls the wind as it blows a single flower petal through the air. Changes in pitch and roll of the floating petal are accomplished by lifting the PlayStation 3 controller. Any button blows the wind harder and moves the pedal faster. The camera gently follows behind the pedal, though it sometimes show new objectives and players' actions. The groups and lines of flowers are present in each level. Approaching these with the petal causes them to bloom, and a new petal to trail the first. And when the player approaches certain flowers or groups, a change is made to the game world, including opening up new areas. These include opening new areas, transforming dead grassy areas to bright green fields, or activating wind turbines. Okay.
Turbines?
These changes generally result in new flowers sprouting for the players to interact with. Okay. This game hit Ash right in the feels.
Did he cry?
Yes.
Did he tear up? Yeah. Dude,
had
those super Journey did that to me. I was tearing up on Journey.
Journey.
It's a PlayStation game also, and it's supposed to be like this visual experience thing. It's super pretty, man. It really is. It's video game / art is what I would call it. I think video games are art anyway, but I think Journey really punched it right in there.
Yeah, he said when he finished it up.
Achi, that's an interesting game. The little ball rolling game.
Yeah, he got
tearjerkers, man. They're just so pretty.
Nope, not this one. This one, here you go. Let's give that one. That's the game. It's called Flower. There you go. And he said that hit him like right in the feels.
We just get to see a beautiful world, right?
Yeah. And something that, I mean, just
I got a key for keep cooking, don't starve together. No, cook serve delicious. That's what it is.
CFC 2?
Yes, cook serve delicious 2.
Cool.
Hit me with it. So
awesome.
I need to play that at some point.
Yeah. It's more of the same with the good one. With it's better. Wasn't really. I don't think it was ready for prime time for sure. But it's a lot of the bugs are fixed. The dude pushes out hot fixes every other day. It's good
I haven't
stuff.
touched it yet. I turned it on and that was it.
Yeah.
I'm interested to play it a little bit. I know Wolfie has like a whole page on his his Twitch for it. I'm not sure he's like selling it there. He seems to love Cook Serve Delicious too.
Oh, Cook Serve Delicious 1 was pretty fantastic. I played the crap out of that. I was a Cook Serve. I was a ninja cook.
Cook Serve master.
Yeah, I was. I beat the House of Ninjas in the first one.
Oh, really? The House of Ninjas.
Yeah, you get to the end and you're cooked for like these 5 restaurants. I think you get your restaurant all the way up to where you're good, and at some point you earn a golden ticket to go try and outcook the ninjas. And
I don't think I've ever got that far.
Oh man,
I usually finish like way earlier than that. I think.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm like, yeah, whatever, I'm done.
Yeah. So it was good. Let me So Cook Serve Delicious is good. I will at some point.
Multi-game lover.
At some point I will I'll pick that up again. I may
we
not.
We should do some more Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. Also.
That was fun. We did that. We did pretty good as a team on that one.
Kick butt at that game.
Yeah.
Whooping heinies.
All right.
Killing limeys.
I'm going to see if you recognize this picture. If anyone can recognize this picture, you get a gold star or 8 million or whatever. So see if
8
you can
million?
recognize this picture.
You have no currency value here.
Yep. You have no power here. That guy.
Is that the picture?
Yeah, the picture is this guy right here. Check stream in a few seconds.
Wes wants a duo battle for Cook Serve Delicious 2, right? Whoa. Is this from a movie?
So
I don't know what this is from.
This
being fired into the air.
Yeah. This is a picture from 1997. And this is satellite Cassini being launched into the air.
Jeez.
And this is the satellite that was sent out to explore Saturn. And recently,
how many years away is Saturn? I guess.
Well,
you're about to tell us, aren't you?
It took about 2.5 years to reach it.
Oh wow,
and
that's not that long actually.
I want to say
only 2.5 years.
Maybe. I don't know. Hang on. Cassini.
In the Spectre of Space.
Launched in 1997. You see, there it is.
Cassini F. Did it die?
Yes. So 1997 was active in space more than 19 years. 13 spent orbiting Saturn. So there you go. So Okay, so it took 6 years to get to Saturn. It entered the orbit on July 1st of 2004. It did a flyby of Venus on its way there, the asteroid Masursky and Jupiter in December of 2000. And its mission ended on September 15th, on Friday, the day after our last show, when Cassini was commanded to fly into Saturn's upper atmosphere and burn up.
Aw, why?
It's time.
Is this time? Putting it down? Euthanize the satellite?
Yeah, so here are some pictures. I put them all in a
It was kind of murdered then.
I
it
put
wasn't
it
alive.
I put it in in a bunch of the pictures that we grabbed from Cassini that are pretty meaningful. Some of the things that we learned from it are pretty amazing, right?
Man, is that a moon? It's so oddly shaped.
That's a moon. Yep.
One of the Jupiter's moons? Looks jank.
Yep. There's a bunch of them. Let me find that one.
Yeah, there's a bunch of moons on Jupiter, right? There's like 18
Jupiter's got
moons or something.
I think it's like 20 something.
97,000 moons or something. 1 million moons.
Cassini. Let me see if there is
Jupiter's just a big old, super heavy gas giant.
Yep.
That has almost no interest to us at all.
And the other crazy thing, that's what it's crazy about a gas giant. It has no bottom.
No, it has a core. There's a hard core to it. Uh-huh.
No. That's it. That's the thing about gas is it's gas.
No, at the very center there is a solidified core.
We think
for Jupiter, a hundo.
You been there?
I've been there. Yeah. XCOM 2.
Right. Let me see. Loss of transmission at September 15th, 3:32 a.m.
That
Pacific.
makes sense to me, Bald.
Yep. So let me find some of the cool things that it discovered.
Whoa! What is that picture? It's like a purple swirl.
Yeah.
It's like a smoothie. A tasty, gaseous smoothie.
Let me see if I can find that one really, really good post and all the interesting thing that it did.
Oh man, that picture is crazy. Where the ring is like a shadow on one of its sides.
Yeah. So what they let me see if I can find that thing. Grand finale. What was it, like 5 things? Let me see if I can just do this.
Contaminated by what? Space jizz? What?
Aye. Cassini, 5 things.
So there's that one moon again that's all like lopsided. It looks like your head, Clowntown.
Is that what my head didn't look like that?
It's got dents on each side.
Look
at the size of that boy's head.
Look at the size of that boy's head. I did.
Have a good sleep.
I had a shaved head for a time.
Like a shaved head?
Yeah.
Or like a buzzed head?
Bic.
Like Bic.
Bic.
Oh wow.
Bicked.
You shouldn't do that. No one should ever do that.
Oh, it's great.
Don't bick your head.
Oh,
Don't
it's
do
so
that.
great. Why not?
Very dangerous for your scalp. Unhealthy.
Why is that? Tell me why.
Because your scalp is not used to having sun touch it.
Oh, I'm an indoor kid. What are you talking about?
Well, fair enough, but just don't do that, okay? You're going to hurt yourself. You're going to get sunburn on your head, and it's going to hurt real bad.
All right,
earth microbes that might have stowed away. What was contaminated? What? Contaminated? What? Toaster, I'm not buying that. I'm calling shenanigans on that. Contaminated by earth microbes? What do you think's going to survive in space, mate? I mean, some stuff, sure, but what's going to happen? 8 billion years from now? There's what? Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, let me put in this stat
Hassel save
here.
you, yes. True facts. Contaminated by us. What does it matter?
2.5 million commands executed. 4.9 billion miles traveled.
Okay. If you ever find living things on these planets, but you're not sure if you contaminate it yourself, you cannot be sure that you found alien life. So? We have found alien life on planets already, though. We already know alien life. Yes, we have.
No,
we found microbes on
dum-dum.
Mars as water.
That's not life.
What would be the difference? What would we send? We're not going to send a lemur.
Okay. All right. Water does not equal life. We know that, right?
I mean, basically it does.
No.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
dum-dum.
Almost invariably, water will have microbes in it, which is life.
Are you saying we can't sterilize water while on Earth? Is that what
But we
you're
could
saying?
boil it. Yeah, sure.
We could demineralize it and we could kill everything in water. If
Yes,
we can
we
kill
could.
water, space can definitely kill water.
Sure. Yes, definitely it could do that. But if you find water with microbes in it already, your point is invalidated. We've already found this.
Not with microbes, no.
Yes, we have.
All right, Cassini, stand
Google
by. All right, we're
Okay.
gonna put the pin.
Google it.
We're gonna put a pin in that. Hang on.
Good bait. This is not bait.
Mars microbe water. Okay, we'll put a pin in that. All right, look at this. 6 named moons discovered. 6 new moons.
Oh, that's nice.
Four
You found new
thou-
moons?
3,948 new papers published. 453,000 pictures taken.
2 of them have been read.
Yeah, that's what we
Papers.
learned a couple shows ago was that
Yeah.
no one's reading these papers.
No
You
one's reading
can't.
these papers.
It's impossible. There's not
too
enough
many.
scientists to read all the papers written. You know what?
Too many writing,
You know
not
what?
enough reading.
Papers, they're like blogs. They're like blogs.
Or podcasts.
You know what your the average number of people, if you put out a blog, the average number of people who will read it,
7.
1.
Okay. That's the average
1.
number?
That's the average number of all the blogs and all the blog readers.
That can't
1.
be true.
1.
Well, does that count
You.
for 1? Right. But
That's
then
it.
It has to be higher than 1. The
No.
actual average.
No.
Yes.
1.
Because some people have more than... Everyone has 1. So that's the base.
No.
And then
okay,
some
you
people have
can't
2.
count yourself. You can't count yourself as
Oh,
reading.
you can't... Okay, now that makes some more sense. Sure. Okay, you can't count
1.
yourself.
Probably,
You can still
or
be
even
1.
with all the other ones, it's probably 1.04 or something like that.
Right.
Right.
Because there's some very popular ones that
Right.
started off a long time ago. So I know those have viewers.
But there's so many ones.
There's a lot of ones.
There's
Yes.
so many ones.
It's like being a streamer. Also, there's a lot of from 1 to 10, 1 to 7.
Yeah.
Out there, right?
Yeah.
If you have like 100 average, you're like top 3,000 on Twitch
Oh,
or something like that. So,
Yep.
did you find my microbes in Mars?
No, I'm not looking for it. I put a pin in it.
Oh,
I'm not.
okay.
I'm
Put a
not
pin
doing
in.
it.
All right. Oh, did we put that on the?
I put it. I put a pin in it. Yeah, I put it on the board.
All right.
God, you're crazy.
I'm not crazy. You're crazy.
You're crazy.
You're the one who thinks aliens see the planet and biologically engineered us because of some pyramids. All right.
Oh, that is a fun theory.
See?
Let me tell you.
See?
That's fun. That's not necessarily true.
You're an alien.
Yeah.
That's not considered true. That's fun.
We're probably
I
we're
feel
probably alien. We're probably the aliens, right?
10 viewers with 9 are bots. It's not how view count works, Toaster.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a hard time getting bots in your view count now. They
10
have
views,
really cracked
900
down on
bots. You ain't cheating, you ain't trying, I guess, right?
that. Oh, it's paying for bots is a separate thing.
Right.
I mean, if you're gonna pay for bots, you're gonna pay for like 50, right? That's the minimum that you'd pay for probably.
61, right? I mean,
Ball too long, didn't read.
yeah. Let me find this guy.
He got hosted by a UFC fighter. Man, I know a lot of UFC fighters who
Yeah, Mighty Mouse.
stream.
Mighty Mouse
Is that who
Johnson.
hosted Jason?
Was it?
Who
Was
hosted
it?
Jason, Shady?
Was it Mighty Mouse?
There's a bunch of UFC fighters that
Mighty
stream.
Mouse UFC, current 125-pound champ.
Oh, see, Print, did you just literally repeat what Shady said back to her and then said nice at the end?
I want to find. It was there. It is. Okay, 5 discoveries made from Cassini. This is.
It
really,
was
really
Mighty
good.
Mouse who hosted Jason, apparently.
Oh, good. It was Mighty Mouse. Before Cassini, Saturn was the neighborhood was considered average. Today, it's revered as one of the most likely places for alien life. We thought that it was Europa, but it discovered powerful geysers on one of the moons, which later revealed a subsurface ocean. If there's ocean and geysers, that's likely.
Ocean hype?
That's where we find on Earth some of the most resilient life. So that's where we're going. Okay,
Right.
it may be not there, right? So it's a moon called Enceladus. Space
That's
lakes.
one of the new ones that
Right.
Seaward discovered. That's
Saturn's moon Titan.
What was the freaking satellite called again?
Now we know that Titan, one of the moons, is more Earth-like than ever. The probe landed. We actually put a probe on Titan in 2005. There were space lakes. There was lakes beyond anything in Earth, except for, I think the lakes are propane. Oh, no, they're methane.
Right.
Lakes of methane. Nobody smoke on that moon.
Or smoke once and you'll be fine after.
Yeah, you'll be.
Don't be there.
Yeah. Space storms. In 2010, the biggest storm we've ever had came to life. Cassini's instruments detected signs of thunder and lightning on Saturn. There were temperatures spiking to 150 degrees. An updraft would have blown away Earth's atmosphere. We'll be right back. And within months, the storm was 190,000 miles around Saturn. It was a storm.
Dang. Saturn's not a fun place to live.
No, it's not. The storm went on for about a year. A storm happened for a year. In Saturn's rings, Cassini spotted the formation of a new moon, because that's how moons are. Moons start out as rings, and they clump together, and they form a ring, right?
So they look all jacked up like that one.
Billions of years, right?
Right.
There's new formations of rings, so eventually Saturn's rings will go away.
And there'll be a bunch of moons there.
Either they will disappear or they will clump together and become a moon.
Very similar to how our planet and all of the planets in the solar system are formed around the sun.
Around the sun. Same deal. As stuff convalesces together because of gravity, and then heats and because of gravity. We think. I mean, or love. I don't know. And there is a hexagonal North Pole, and that's where Cassini landed. It's a 6-sided shape on the North Pole.
Did it make it? I mean,
no, it didn't land. I mean, it.
Right. It was headed toward to land, but
yeah, it was. It sinks 60 miles below the top of Saturn's cloud. It is exactly hexagonal, and it changed colors, which is awesome. It went from blue to gold, and even closer into red. There you go.
How much bigger is Saturn than Earth? Like hundreds of times
bigger?
At
least 4 big.
At least 4 big?
Yeah.
More like, okay, so that's the highest we can count. I want to see. So someone said there's a giant moon around Saturn. Probably these moons are really big.
Moons are probably Earth size, right?
Right.
I mean, how much dirt do you need to fill in one of those? At about 8 dirt. Well, you ain't wrong.
8 dirt. Not more than 8 dirt.
More than 8 dirt. Yeah.
It's 764 times the volume of Earth.
There you go. 6th planet from the sun. Let's see. It has 1/8 the average density. It is larger of volume, just over 95 times more massive. The mass of it by weight. Mass. You didn't really say weight, because weight's a force.
Right. Well, it's a function of gravity.
Anyway, so this was a big deal. This was like Cassini did its job.
That's pretty cool.
And it
Cassini,
actually.
good job. Too bad they murdered it, though.
Well, probably it was like, okay, it's only got X amount of fuel, it's only got X amount of battery life. We're going to get all this time out.
Dead anyway.
We have this much left to go execute one last command. What do we want to do with this?
Let's smash it into something. That's what I would do.
Let's put it right in the North Pole and see what kind of pictures it can take out and try and unpack that hexagon. Everybody vote for that? Yes, let's do it. So,
yeah, probably murder was part of the plan, actually. They probably decided that was going to happen even before they launched. Probably.
Right.
I would feel more comfortable if that was the case.
Oh, yeah.
Rather than decide, yeah, I guess it's burned out now, crash it.
Yeah.
Hey, Bill.
Hey, Bill, what do you want to do?
With Cassini. It's like midnight.
I don't know. What do you want to do?
Pull it, I guess, just smash it in there. Where do you want to go eat after?
Yeah. You hungry? All right, let's do it. Dump.
All right, yeah. Dump.
Yeah.
We had to stay in the plan since before they started the mission. Okay, Kurt. That's what the official release says.
Yeah, let me do
Have you ever watched Battlestar Galactica?
Yeah.
Okay, how do you feel about the whole AI thing? Because I have been kind of interested in that recently. Because there's a new Battlestar Galactica game coming out, and it looks absolutely incredible.
Oh, really?
I need to try to find it. Oh, no, maybe we have to talk about this next time.
Yeah.
Well, let me see if I can find the name of the game.
All right, let me put up the pale blue dot, and we'll do that one. This is the Cassini was the one that took that famous, according to me, picture of the update. The update.
You confused me there because I thought you were saying that according to you, Cassini had taken a picture, but you meant famous according to you. I would definitely say that picture is famous. The pale blue dot picture.
Right. It's an updated version of it.
Oh, wait, they took another one.
Well,
see,
Carl Sagan.
Battlestar Galactica Deadlock is the new Battlestar Galactica game. I think coming out, not out yet.
Oh, dang it! Come on.
Kurt Will said. Do we understand our emotions? This got deep.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, do we understand our emotions? I think no. Do you understand your emotions?
I can probably
maybe
justify them.
Okay, sure, you could justify it, but could you predict your emotions?
If you
could
pull
you do,
out in
like,
front of me, I'm going to be pissed.
Okay, so yeah, all right. There is some circumstances in which we can predict our emotions.
Right.
Okay. So
Well, I can
maybe
I
AI
can
could
predict it.
also
I can predict an event that is going to
would
piss
make
me
you
off.
angry. If someone got hurt,
So help
someone
me,
died,
you mother
lost
trucker.
something.
Yeah.
That you could be like, yeah, I will almost invariably feel this way.
Right.
So at least a computer could definitely predict human emotion. Because we can do it, just categorically. Like pain,
So
anxiety, panic attacks. Well, maybe you could definitely predict. I can understand situations that would make me have more anxiety than others.
driving a
Like,
car.
I'm not going to have an anxiety attack right now. Right.
Well, I
But if
mean,
there-
in the Terminator, they did some of those things where he said, there was a point at which John Connor puts a gun to his head and said, "What happens? Can I just end the war by killing myself?" And the Terminator, Arnold, looks at him and goes, "There's an 86.4% chance you will not pull that trigger."
It's unlikely that you'll do that because of self-preservation, all
Right.
these other mechanics that go into
Right,
human
and
life.
he
your
went
current
and
mental
did
state.
that and did that prediction and did that
He already knew.
algorithm.
Probably that-
He did the algorithm
that-
right then and said, "There's an 86.4% chance you will not pull that trigger."
That's a pretty good chance. Rolling that dice. I'd take that shot in XCOM, baby.
Right. Also, in the movie
Missed, too.
I, Robot, you remember the whole
Yep.
thing about
I did not kill him.
the whole
Sorry,
thing about
check my
Will
camera.
Smith and his arm about save the girl, and that's why he doesn't trust robots, is because
All right.
in the accident he said there was an 11% chance that there's an 11% chance that the girl would be saved if the robot went to the girl first instead of saving Will Smith.
Right.
Instead, he saves Spooner. He saves Spooner instead of the girl. The girl dies, and the robot did the trolley problem, right?
Right.
It was
Like, okay.
He lost
Yep.
control. Two cars collide,
Triage.
lost control, and the robot looks at both of them and says, "Nope, too low of a percentage," and saves Spooner, right?
Yep.
And then
That's
the
triage.
reason why the
Humans have
movie
to do
was
that.
the reason why
It's
the
tough.
movie was so good. I loved it so much.
iRobot is a great movie.
Is a great movie is because at the end, Sonny does the same thing at the very end when he says, "Save the girl," right? Spooner gives Sonny a command and says, "Save the girl," because she's falling, right?
Right.
And so then Sonny looks at Spooner, looks back at him, and looks at Vicky, and then Sonny tosses. He says, "Okay, I'm going after the girl." So Sonny starts running and jumps down to go save the girl. Trusts Spooner, tosses him the virus. Trusts Spooner to dump his gun, catch the virus, and skid down on his arm. Right? Remember the
I don't
very
remember.
end scene?
I don't remember.
Oh.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
It's
I'm
great.
trusting you here.
Sonny, the robot,
Right.
does the trolley problem and makes the right decision and says, "I'm going to trust the human who gave me an order," because the whole time at the very beginning, Spooner looks up at the robot that's saving him and says, "Save the girl, and the robot says, "F that, too low of a percentage,"
Right.
and does it. This time, Sonny, the robot who has now been programmed with the extra AI,
Right.
has this trust bond with Spooner now.
He does the trolley problem, but has the wrong answer, is what you're telling me, right?
He trusts the human to overcome the lower percentages, which is what Spooner was
Sure.
trying to get him to do earlier on.
I guess so.
Oh, it's so great.
It is a good movie. There's a lot
Yeah.
of thought-provoking stuff in
Yeah,
that movie.
it was so good. And
I think that we're gonna run into this AI issue.
Yeah.
Very, very fast now that
Oh,
cars are
100%
driving
we
us
will.
around. Super, super fast now.
So
We're slamming face first into it.
here is, I want to show you guys this. Here is the pale blue dot. This is the updated one. Voyager,
Oh, God.
Voyager
From Saturn's
1.
Rings. Oh, that's crazy.
Voyager 1 took a similar picture. It was low res. It was like a 35 millimeter camera, whatever it was
Low
in
res.
space. It was a balls picture. It was this pale, very blue dot, right? And Carl Sagan wrote in his book that quote that says, "This is Earth, this is home." I probably can't read that to you because I will tear up. But they decided that Cassini was, like, Carl Sagan had to beg NASA to turn Voyager backwards and take the picture of Earth.
Oh, I see. Really?
Like, they weren't going to do it. And they just said, look, but the issue is the sun is so effing bright that it has to wait until it's in the shadow of a planet in order for it to get this. So you see the sun is on the left outside.
Right.
And essentially the sun is it's on the opposite side of the sun of Saturn. So it's blocking out the sun's light, but you can still see Earth, right? So back when they launched Voyager in the 70s, Carl Sagan was like, please just turn the goddamn thing around. We've only got like a day and a half where it's going to be there. You need to take a picture of Earth because it's going to be historic for the planet. Turns out he was right, because look, this is the only one we've got. We need to have a perspective on ourselves. So
perspective, yeah, sort of.
So Cassini, they plan to do this. They turn back to Earth and they take this beautiful shot, because now it's in a perfect place where the sun is blocked by Saturn. The rings are illuminated, but also Earth is illuminated on this perfect little triangle. So now we can get this clear shot of Earth. Because if you're on the other side, you need Cassini needs the sun behind it to illuminate Saturn and get all those other pictures, right? Because here you can't really see Saturn very well.
Right.
You can see the rings because they're illuminated through, but you can't really see it very well. They needed this perfect shot, so they got this shot. And this is the update to the pale blue dot that we see, and where we have Carl Sagan saying those profound words, right? So
it's pretty crazy. Such a small speck.
God. Oh yeah.
From like 2 years of travel away.
A
living on that.
A quasar could sneeze, and we are instantly effed.
It's surprising that hasn't happened already. It's a thing for me, right?
A 1,000,000% correct.
Right.
Like, look,
that for every second that we had already been here, that's always surprising to me.
Oh, 100%.
How we've not a meteor hit us, wiped out. I mean, again, the
who the hell
most
knows,
of the life
right?
on that planet being killed by a meteor. I mean, that happens all the time.
90
especially to planets without atmospheres.
I want to say like 97% of all of the species of creatures that have ever lived are extinct.
Right. They mostly die.
97% of everything that has ever lived is dead. Is extinct. Extinct.
This is why it's important to preserve these creatures also.
And you say, look, it's like, look, I don't want to smoke weed because it'll make me paranoid. Good. You should be paranoid. You're this little pink flesh bag ape that's clinging to life on this little blue rock, hurling through space with nothing supporting it. There's nothing underneath you. It's this big-ass blue spaceship that really isn't big. It's just big compared to us, and we're zooming through space at this breakneck speed, and we're clinging to this planet going, oh, God! Please don't put me into that 97%. Right?
We couldn't even leave if we wanted to at this point. If there was like a mass exodus of the planet, it wouldn't work out. Where would we go? We don't have a spot.
Yeah.
We really need a spot, too.
Good. You should be paranoid. You should be paranoid.
I think next time we want to come back, I want to talk about a little bit about AI and what could happen. I think we've actually talked about other future stuff before.
Yeah.
Like super small cameras, cameras that can watch the vibration of a window and understand the voice that's going on behind it.
Oh,
stuff
God,
like that.
Yeah.
Invisibility cloaks and things like that are kind of on the verge of being
I think we said that.
Used.
Yeah, we said that before, where a camera pointed in a soundproof booth pointed at a Doritos wrapper.
Right, aluminum wrapper.
In the same room of someone making a speech.
Can watch the vibrations.
Can watch the vibrations on that and translate 98% accuracy the speech that was given in the room.
That's scary, right? Soundproofing is not going to help you.
What the hell?
You could have a thing from orbit looking down at you and seeing, like, just looking at what you're saying. Not even looking at what you're saying, actually.
Right.
Looking at a paper bag.
Next to you.
That's next to you, that's hearing what you're saying.
Right.
Feeling what you're saying. Vibrating because of what you're saying.
Right.
So I want to come back and talk about AI. And I think that I actually want to watch Battlestar Galactica because I have not seen it yet.
You should be paranoid.
Definitely. Thanks for being here, guys. Appreciate it a ton.
All right, what do you got coming up?
Show.
What do you got coming up this weekend?
I'm doing more War of the Chosen speedrunning.
Awesome.
I'm sure that I will get tired of War of the Chosen at some point and be back to Terraria speedrunning. I should be able to, in the next week, get a speedrun down for Legend War of the Chosen in less than 10 hours, I would say.
Barking.
Barking dogs. What else do I have going on? Maybe I'll be playing some Cook Serve Delicious 2 at some point. I think that's about it, really.
Yeah.
I really want to work on XCOM 2. I mean, I'm super into XCOM 2 right now.
Good.
It's a really good game. I didn't play the original release of it on stream. I played it all by myself. And getting to play this one on stream has been really good as well.
Cool.
What do you got, Content?
Probably off tomorrow. I don't think I'll get a stream in. If so, we'll probably do some Fortnite with subs. That tends to be pretty fun. But otherwise,
Fortnite?
Saturday
Fortnite only has 4 players, right?
Yeah, four-man team.
I wish it was more than that.
Saturday will be a Factorio. We're gonna, I think, either we're gonna do Ribbon World, or if I have enough subs, we're gonna try and do a rocket
day.
per stream. Just
Keeps the doctor away.
Just do a rocket in a stream if we can. If I don't have much time on Saturday, we may do it Sunday. But more Factorio. I am off every Monday as it goes for like family night. And next week, we should be able to do this show at a similar time. So
yeah, early AOIs. I'm excited for.
Are you you going live right now?
I may. We'll see. I think I'm gonna take a quick break. We'll take a break and then I'll come back and then.
Okay, let me know. Let me know. I'll hit you up with a host if and may hang out. I got a volleyball game to go to right about now. So there you go.
Oh really? Okay. Wait, is this the last one?
This is our last volleyball game of the season. They are undefeated as of right this minute.
Whoa!
They are undefeated.
Now I understand why you said you wouldn't cheat for let them win, because they're already winning.
Well, it doesn't. And I'm not a cheater, so ain't cheating, ain't trying. You and I have very different philosophy. You and I have very, very different philosophies on cheating, and I'm more honor bound than you are. You're winning bound, and I'm honor bound.
I'm winning bound. Yeah, sure. All right, guys, thanks for being here.
So yeah, just a quick backstory. The daughter was on 2 years ago. The daughter was on a team, went winless, did not even win a 2 out of 3. Did not even win any of those. Last year they went winless. Last year they went winless. Also, so it's 2 years in a row where they did like a 10 or 12 game season with 0.0. Not even the match. Crushing. Not even the match. They did not win a game within a match. Like a 2 out of 3. They didn't even take one of those on 2 years.
Wow.
This year they are stomping everybody. So
awesome.
Now,
fantastic.
I'm glad because she's way more humble now. Like she knows what it's like to lose. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah, I think that worked out well.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it very much. Stay motivated. Stay awesome. We'll see you next time. And remember, stretch.